Big up, big up, big up. Reds around the world. Today, our hearts are a little bit heavier. I understand that, even despite the fact that we are champions of England, and despite the fact that we did lose at the bridge and 3-1. That didn't help. The news that we got today, I mean, look, after 20 years at Liverpool Football Club, our number 66, the SCOUSER in our team, Trent Alexander-Arnold, has announced he is leaving the club at the end of the season.
It's okay. We have got one to spare. We've got Curtis.
Okay, you guys still got a Scouser in the team, true that.
Yeah.
It's official, though. It's real for many of us. It's somewhat of an impossible thing to process. It's almost impossible to process really completely and thoroughly. But from a local lad making waves in the academy to becoming a Champions League and Premier League winner, that's twice, Premier League winner twice. Trent was the dream made real for a lot of people that lived vicariously through him. Today, we're breaking it all down, his quotes, his decisions, the timing, what it means for our club, what it means for our fans, us fans, and the future for us and this team. We're also going to hit transfer news. I have some transfer news later on, too. We'll discuss Huijsen, and we'll discuss even maybe a little bit about Chelsea, that Chelsea game that we had the reaction on. We're not going to be doing ratings, so if that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry to say. That's not happening today.
It'd be a waste of time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be counterproductive, that, wouldn't
it? Yeah. And finally, we'll get an update on Arne Slot's plans going forward. We'll get a little idea. But before we do that, let's say hello to the panel. Today, we have the Irishman. We have also Scouse Lee, and we have Nalante. Nalante, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's 12. Big up the chat. And yeah, man, taking it easy, watching the rivals trying to grab onto this news for a little bit of hope. But yeah.
Big up, big up. All right. And we also have Lee, how are you?
Good, good. I have to big up the salt of the rival fans. Much bollocks has been talked of late, since we secured the title. And it's been quite funny, actually, watching some of it. So, you've got to give a shout out to that,
Yeah, I bet. They relish at any little pitfall in the road that is Liverpool. They relish every moment. Brian, how are you doing today too?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you.
Very well. Very well. Good. I will say that the beginning of this show is going to be tough because I know that a lot of us do feel certain ways about this particular player. It's a full farewell from this guy. So let's begin by hearing everything Trent had to say, I guess. Let's just let him speak for his own words. I'm not going to play the actual clip, but I'll read you out his words because words matter. And he deserves the full platform to speak for himself. Absolutely. Even if it's through me reading his words, I still will do my best to try to get all of his quotes in here. How it went is, quote, I think first and foremost, I want to say it's not an easy decision. 20 years of service. This wasn't just a job. It was his life. Obviously, there's been a lot of noise around what the decision was going to be. But respect to Trent for putting the team first during the title run, which is a classy move. There's some other perspectives that weren't necessarily class E, if you put it. I got to put on the accent. Yeah, I'm not putting on the Scouse accent. I should send it to Lee so he can read it, and then it'd be perfect. But yes, he knows this hurts. He says it 100%. He knows it hurts, and he owns that. He owns it. He will have to carry that weight with him to Madrid. He'll have to carry that weight every time he returns to Liverpool. It's not going to be an easy transition for him because he's going to have to recognize the fact that he's breaking a lot of hearts, and it's going to be a tough one. So, but he is one of us, and now with 2 games left, including a final farewell on May 25th, Trent will walk away as a Premier League champion. In some minds, a Liverpool champion, and others, a Liverpool legend, excuse me, and others maybe not so much. And a man who gave us it all, basically. So I'm going to ask the panel. I see some people have some. I know some people definitely have some opinions out there. It was a very, and Barry, you're right. It was a scripted goodbye message. It wasn't necessarily him just speaking from the heart. It was certainly, I'm sure, well written by his PR team. Did you ever really think there was a realistic path for Trent to stay at Liverpool? Or were we all just kidding ourselves the entire time? Did this guy just have basically his mind made up, and we were just, had to, unfortunately, we're along for the ride, but also maybe by not knowing, at least it was enjoying the good years when we had him with him. I'll ask that of, I'll begin with Lee, actually. I'll let the Scouser speak first.
Yeah, I don't see that this ruins his legacy or anything like that. He's been a very important player in an important period for us. That's been said before, blah, blah, blah. But there's some people who are wishing him not to succeed, which I don't understand. For me personally, I want to see him succeed as a Scouser. I don't want him to fail at Madrid, I want him to represent. But there's people predicting. I didn't see anyone saying, I hope he fails, but I've seen people saying he'll fail. Not backing it up with any info or stats or that. They were just saying he'll fail at Madrid. Thought, oh, that's a piss poor attitude. But I don't know. I was annoyed myself at first. Like when I first found out he was leaving, I thought, right, he's just been made vice captain, which means something that he'll be captain soon. We're moving on there. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Wasn't in his mind from the moment Klopp announced he was leaving to leave. If it was and if it wasn't, I'm not really that arsed now. All I'm thinking about is what we're going to be like next season. I'm not really expecting Trent to figure that much in the remaining games, only as a supporting actor. I'm expecting Bradley to start and finish most of these games now that we know.
Yeah, that's a big question going forward. Do you let him get the proper? I mean, do you let him get a proper send off? Do you play him in a starting role, and then and obviously he'll most likely be subbed off so he can get the applause, or do you sub him on for that one last time?
It's indulgent, isn't it, though, to give him too many minutes now that we know, now that the news is out, and it's official, and people can't say otherwise. It will be a bit strange for him to keep playing him, wouldn't it? Because he was going on about that the other day, aren't he? Yes, now we start for next season, we prepare for next season. Well, that sort of suggests that he should be playing Bradley from the start then.
I'll ask this. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off. I was going to say, I'll just ask this of the chat, and I'm going to ask this of Nolante. Difficult question, but he is a Mission Impossible man. So I'm going to ask you this question, Nolante. Does Trent's decision feel more like closure, or does it feel like betrayal to you? And I'm asked that to the chat too. Just write closure or betrayal in your opinion. Does it feel like closure or betrayal? I'd love to see what the chat's feeling, and I'd love to interested to hear how Galante feels about this too.
That's a good question to off. It depends how you want to look at it. You know, every Liverpool fan has different aspects in this. You know, he's a scouser in the team. Oh, there's one scouser left. I mean, there's another thing I want to add on to that, but I'll get onto that later on during this show about that. But it's a betrayal. Betrayal for me would be him going to United or City, one of our rivals. That would be betrayal. That would be a stab in the face.
This is a rival, though. Let's not.
They are.
I know. I'm quickly interjecting, but I'm just saying. I don't want to ever understate that the biggest international, biggest European rival that I believe we have, and that's meaning outside of England, obviously, is Real Madrid. Period. It starts and ends with Real Madrid for me, and that's why I don't like seeing them do well in any competition. I want us to beat them every opportunity we get.
Since we knew that's where he was going, I've been parroting that one a lot, like, oh, nobody turns Madrid down, but somebody actually corrected me in a comment before saying this person and this person has turned Madrid down. You're wrong, you're not factual. And apparently some people have turned Madrid down, but it's rare, isn't it, that Madrid get turned down? And especially in the circumstances Trent is in there, like at the end of his contract, you know what I mean? There have been a couple of players who've been given the choice between Madrid and another team and went to the other team. But generally, people just don't do that, do they? Turn Real Madrid down.
Okay. Yeah, Bernie's got to come off the fence and pick one side, either closure or betrayal. No sitting on the fence, right? You got to pick one or the other. By the way, for everyone. But I interrupted your what you were saying because you didn't get to your either closure or betrayal, Galante. What was it for you? What is it for you, I should say?
I would say 12. Yeah, you're right, but I'll probably what would be worse, him Trent going to United or City, or him going to Madrid as he is going. I don't know what would be worse at the two for me. As much as I can't stand Madrid, it is kind of rare, but it won't affect us internally in the Premier League. So that's the main thing, So for me, it's closure. Look, I've said this way before these inklings have come. I've said, Trent, he's a great footballer, world-class footballer, but if he goes, I'm not too fussed. I just think we'll be able to move on better, whether it was a Bradley or something, but there's a way going back, and now we kind of know without putting the I's to the dots or the I's to the T's that for once, the FSG did everything they could. He's had this in his head, and it is what it is. We appreciate you, but that's your decision, and we move. That's it.
It sounds more like closure. It sounds more like closure to
closure. Yeah, I always had this feeling. His feeling. So I've always not been too fussed. Not hating on him. Quality plays, but closure for me.
Saw a little bit of like a mixed bag of answers in the chat, closures and betrayals, and even and I think let's see who Alexander said it. I think probably best for those that say betrayal. Shout out to Philip. When he says, betrayal, sadly, because I think that we all want it to be closure, not necessarily, but the feeling of betrayal, unfortunately, does linger with some of the way that has gotten to this point. And I'll ask JK, big up JK, big up for joining us. I'll ask you.
Big up JK.
Are fans justified in feeling angry, or do we need to appreciate and properly, owe Trent an understanding? As in, I know we all think of it from sometimes our own selfish fan selfish perspectives, if you want to put it that way. But And we all say things, oh, well, we would do this or we would do that, but we're speaking from a fan as opposed to a person in the moment. So I'll ask, are fans justified in feeling angry, or do we owe Trent an understanding, in your opinion?
Oh, bro, what a day. There's so much to talk about this topic. Bless up Lee and Brian as well, and Alante. I reckon when I've seen his face today, it just shows me a face that needs a change of scene. Like, I'm not gonna. What I've read today on Twitter and stuff like that about the way fans are reacting, it is wild. It's like, this is wild, bro. I wonder what it would have been like when Gerrard was gonna go to Chelsea or whatever. It would have probably even been worse. But for me, the way the fans are sort of really disrespecting him, as you disrespected Liverpool. At the end of the day, I see it like this, bro. When you've been 20 years in a certain place, you mentally need to change a scene. When you wake up, it's a different world, different atmosphere, different weather, whatever it is, for your own mental health. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing that. That's not an excuse, because at the end of the day, he's a Liverpool fan. I understand that. But for me, the only problem is he's going to Real Madrid. I think if he was going to Bayern Munich, even to Barcelona, bro, it'll be like it. You know what I mean? Like, Barcelona isn't like a Real Madrid, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Real Madrid are Real Madrid, bro. They've done us over so many times in the last few years and stuff, and it's like, you could never imagine them days when we were playing them games. Like,
exactly.
one day, Trent, we're going to be playing for them fuckers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Can't beat them, join them type mentality, it sounds like. And that's,
well, I think the Bellingham going there hasn't really helped us in that way, because at the end of the day, you can see them are really good friends and stuff, so they'll be talking, this, that, the other. But his brother is his agent, and I think he's probably pushed it quite a lot as well to get it done. But for me, the bigger picture being, you cannot say to the lad, he's a rat, he's betrayed us. No. At the end of the day, it's his choice. Liverpool Football Club is always there. There's a saying, the players come and go, but the club's always there, and that's true. When you really think about it, because when Trent goes, we're going to be sporting Bradley. And the thing is about the fee, bless up Norman in the chat, he's on about the fee. He's a bit disappointed that we ain't got a fee for him. Even if we got a fee for him, 100 million, they would be saying Bradley's the next guy in line to take that position. So they would have just pocketed that 100 million, you know what I mean? So it don't really matter about the fee, man. I'm not really worried about that when I look at that side of it. We've got Bradley there waiting. So they would have probably pulled out. Go on there, Lee.
If Real Madrid had to pay for Trent, I don't think they'd have bought him.
They wouldn't have. That bid in January was just that was just that was just a cheeky bid. That was just one of those,
They're a law unto themselves. They're a strange club, aren't they? There's lots of
Real Madrid is
they are like huge, aren't they? And the internal workings of Real Madrid are just like strange, aren't they? And like full of intrigue.
Yes. Real Madrid is the Enron of football. We need to take them down. But anyway, I'll ask this of Brian, actually. What does his Real Madrid, and this is being Trent's obviously, what does his Real Madrid move say about player ambition in this era? And what does it say about the sheer fact that it could be argued that Liverpool are set up to challenge and compete for silverware and glory and ambition, more so than maybe even Real Madrid at this moment?
Sorry, I don't really understand what you mean.
What does his Real Madrid move say about player ambition in this era is the question. So like him moving on to Real Madrid is ambitious, but it's not as though that Liverpool doesn't have. It'd be one thing if Liverpool was dealing with what Stevie G was dealing with, in the sense of a team that didn't really have that much promise on competing for the Premier League, much less Champions League. And it wasn't, and the investment in the club wasn't really there. There weren't established pinnacle foundations for the club, being like an Ali or Virgil van Dijk or even Mohamed Salah, who have both re-signed. They have all shown that this team has some real foundation behind it, has some real, obviously, heritage and history, but it also has a setup for the future. Yet this player still shows Real Madrid.
Yeah. I mean, still not, I'm not entirely sure what you're asking, but I mean, he wanted to go to Madrid. I mean, it's not about player. I just think personally, I'm not really this, I'm the least shocked person out there, I'd say, to me, because I've been saying this
you've been
whole
saying it
season,
from the
he's
very
going.
beginning. Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving. He's gone. He's out.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, these are the questions that should have been asked. Are you going to sign a new contract, Trent? No. Okay. So if we offer you it, nope. I've decided in 2 years I'm going to run down my deal. No, you're not. You're absolutely not going to do that. You can either sign a new contract or you're getting sold, man. Because you're not walking out of here on a free. But look, that's in the past now. So I just think, like you put it there, like he's just an individual case. He's won everything there is to win at Liverpool.
Right.
He wants to try something else. He wants to do something else. I don't think it's going to be a case of someone will look at Trent leaving Liverpool and go, "Oh, well, they must be a sinking ship." Not to put the rat analogy out there, but it's not that they're, it's just they can see an individual guy that's made an individual choice. It's just his personal ambition. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are very, very angry about it, and I get that. I would be probably if 20 years ago, or if I was a bit more invested, or if I hadn't had in my head like he's leaving. I'm just angry with the people that didn't get it. Of course, it sucks on all the, because I was asking people a while ago, I was like, what are you more angry about? The fact that he's leaving, or the fact that he's leaving on a free? And it wasn't until I asked that it came, like I would have said it was like 50-50. A lot of people are like, oh, well, yeah, if he's going to leave, that's cool. But the fact that he's leaving on a free, that's unacceptable. And that's like, well, is it his fault or the club's fault? It's like, if a guy that high profile is sitting down at that 2-year mark left, and it's like, so we want to sign you up for a new deal, keep you on 4 years, 3 years minimum, protect the club, protect your value. And he's like, yeah, that contract thing, we'll get to that next week. Right? Yeah, just ring the old, I've got to be somewhere. I talk to you, right? That kind of, I was putting it off, just alarm bells, man. So you would have gotten, you can't force them out the door, of course, but you could have made things more difficult. But we just did stuff the classy way, I suppose. We didn't create a big hoo-ha in the press. I've always said he's never come out and disrespected the club. Like a lot of people would tell me, what are you talking about? He's massively disrespecting the club. But I mean, he's never come out and like sort of been talking shit about the club in the press, saying, oh, what you're doing there isn't, doesn't match my ambition. Some people will say that he has been saying that. Underneath what he's saying is that the club doesn't match his ambition. I don't know. Everyone's got their own read on this, and I'm sure Trent probably would disagree with 99% of it because it's his thing, But like I said, when this to me was just a matter of time when this announcement was coming out. Now the thing is, it should have come after the parade, or it should have been done in January. Look, it is what it is. It's happened today. That's the life being a Liverpool fan. I think there's always, there's always something. There's never not something. You win a league, Trent leaves. It's that's just the life of being a Liverpool fan.
I'm going to put a poll in I got 2 polls for you. Dara's not here, so he doesn't have to complain about them. And these are the two poll questions for the chat. This is the first one, and I'll get a quick rapid fire for this. What would be your answer to this? Should Trent's decision have been announced sooner? A, yes, it caused yes, it caused a distraction. B, no, you respected the team focus. Or C, doesn't matter now. Since we ended on Brian, let's start with Brian this time. You just have to give an A, B, or C answer for you.
I'd lean towards, well, obviously C, but I'd lean towards B because, like you were saying, there's no good time to announce that. So just the league is won now, so now you can come out with the bits and pieces. So
let's see. A lot of C's. Red Armchair Supporter says A, should have been announced earlier. Let's see. Anyone else? Mark A says should have been announced later, after the parade, actually. Okay. What other answers we have so far? And I'll put the other poll in right now too. Just give me a second to set it up. What are some? Let me see some other answers. C, a lot of C's. I guess people are kind of like this, like maybe because we've won this title, people are just like, I'm not really bothered by it. We knew it was coming, and we've been back and forth on this emotional little bit of roller coaster with the quote unquote decision. At least it wasn't like at least he didn't do a LeBron James style, right? And for those that watch NBA, you'd understand what that means. Is LeBron James made this when he's an Ohio boy, grew up in I think Akron, Ohio. Played for Cleveland, which is the only basketball team in Ohio, or NBA basketball team in Ohio, and it was a big deal, obviously. And then he did an actual segment where he announced his decision on TV, so everyone had to sit there, and the Cleveland fans had to wait and
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was something, man. It was something. You want to talk about reactions? Holy, oh my goodness, that was something. There were people in the streets burning jerseys. They had to set up police officers in front of like his murals because they didn't want him. It was
counseling booths.
It was something, let me tell you. But here's the second poll I would like to see. Oh wait, did we get an answer? Let's just get a rapid fire answer from everyone for the first poll. Brian went with he said C, somewhat B. I think he said, right? You want B?
Yeah, mainly C.
Yeah. C, mainly C. Okay, C. Lee, real quick, what will be your answer? And then I'm going to drop the other poll. A, B, or C? I'll bring up the question for you because you probably forgot by now. Give me 1 second to find it. Here it is. This was the question, Lee. Should have been announced sooner. A, B, or C? Which would you have gone with? This real flat. You don't have to put a.
Yeah, I'd go with the no. That he respected the team focus.
All right. So a C.
And played the part. He did his thing, didn't he? We found out, like, for certain, didn't he, when he took his top off. But there were clues before, like, Brian, you were onto it early. Like, I was still hoping and praying that he'd stay, like, a while ago, and you nailed it, like, quite early.
Okay. Nalante, what would be your answer? A, B, or C?
C.
C?
Mm-hmm.
JK, what would be your answer?
Mine would be D. Should have waited until the season's finished.
I got you. So you're saying what?
The big one.
Yeah.
The new one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me bring up this. How about this one? I'll ask you this, JK, real quick too, and in the chat, please give us the answer for this one too, real quick. Do you still consider Trent Do you still consider Trent a Liverpool legend after this exit or after this decision? A, 100%. Yes. B, yes, but it's with strings attached. Or C, no, legends don't leave on a free. How about that?
That's a tricky one. For me, he is a legend, bro. He's a top player, one of my favorites. I just think it's time to move on for him mentally. Hence, for me, he's a legend. What a player.
I'm interested to see what people choose on this one. I'm seeing some answers filter in. How about for you, Nolante? Wow.
Yeah, I guess I agree with JK. Yeah, I mean he's done what he's done, so it's very hard not to. Oh, it's a difficult one. I guess so. I guess so. He's won what he's won. He's done. If other players are legends with less years in the club, then yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. I said strings attached. Sting. It stings is what the word is I used. But so you're going with B, I guess. 2 B's. You want B, JK, right? And B for you too, Nolante?
Yeah. No, I would say A for me. He's a legend, bro.
Oh, just 100%. No questions asked. Okay. All right. Lee, A, B, or C on this one?
Gotta be B. Yes, but it stings.
Okay. And Brian, what's your answer on that one? A, B, or C?
It's very early to be asking that question, people. That's all
He's a living legend. He's a living legend.
I think, I just think no, I don't mean to judge him as a player. I just mean considering what's happened today. I think in 5, 6, 7 years, people will look back on him less harshly than they are right now. Those that
Absolutely.
But a lot of people right now will be just going, no, fuck that. He's not a legend. I just think what he gave to the club, yeah, ways of I mean, it's very unique. Very few things. It's genuinely unique. To have a player, because like the other boys, like we're talking about, yeah, they were tough, but it was like I said more at the time. It's like with McManaman and Owen, it's like, oh well, if they leave, we're going to be worse off. We have no chance of winning stuff, kind of thing. Not so much with McManaman, but you could tell it was like a good player leaving a team that wasn't successful. Whereas he's taken us to the top, or we brought him along. He's been part of it, so he's won everything. He doesn't really owe the club titles, so. Yeah, I just think when in 10 years he'll be looked back on pretty fondly. Well, I don't know, some people still can't say, but like as long as he doesn't go and join Man United when he comes back, he should be fine.
Well, that's still left to be seen. But
yeah, I don't think he'll be there that long.
So what is your answer? A, B, or C?
Oh,
if you have to pick one.
I don't think he'll be at Madrid that long. I give him 3 years at Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
B, yes, but it have
B.
yeah.
Yes, but it
B.
stings.
Yeah,
okay.
I still think he deserves his place up there. Yeah.
I saw in the chat, Reels and Jared answered this one for last one. That was D. He would have waited like JK for the announcement, but the answers start to pile in, and there were a lot of C's. Red Armchair Supporter said C. Persian Pride said C. Hyler is talking about how they stopped negotiating. I don't know if they did back in March. I mean, it's April, so.
Well, it's May, but yeah, March is not long ago.
It's like 5 days ago. So, or no, excuse me. This is May 5th. Excuse me. I'm a month behind myself. Bernie said C. Norm said C. Alexander said yes, but it stings. Philip said C. Mark A was on the B train. Hash said B. Legend, but not Mr. Liverpool for him anymore. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Pretty wild to see. Big up Baz in the house. I see you, brother. Whoops. I see you. I see you. What we're talking about tonight is the Scouser who's only going to be in our team for 2 more games. That's what we're talking about. We will have a Scouser after that still with the team.
Arnie might go into Chiesa mode after the announcement's been made. Arnie might go full on Chiesa with him and only give him a
Chiesa's probably like, yo, bro, is there room?
3 games.
Is there room on that plane? I'll go with you. Maybe I'll get some playing time in Madrid. But who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of different scenarios you can kind of like connect it with, I would say. Look, Stevie G, the way in pursuit of what he ended up making his decision based on was it definitely had a lot of impact, I would say, in how a lot of us view this decision by Trent, considering that Stevie is certainly a local lad and he is someone that kind of set the bar as to being what it takes to be, beloved by your own fans. I mean, look, he even went on to play abroad after giving pretty much everything he could give to Liverpool in the time that he got to stay here. But Trent is making a decision in his life a lot earlier than Stevie did, and it definitely hurts. It definitely hurts. I'm more in the B camp than I am. I'm not saying he's 100%. Oh, hey, this is cool, but it's tough to go as far as to say he's not a legend for me. But
just quickly on what a couple of people are talking about there is like, oh, I wouldn't even consider him a legend anyway, kind of thing. What are legends? Some of that. But I mean, just sort of the question, I suppose, would be like, if he was in that camp, has he lost that thing? Rather than saying he is a legend, so tell us, do you still think he is a legend? If you didn't consider him a legend, because you could whittle that down to 5, like the lads are saying, not everyone has to be a legend. But just in terms of the question, I think the way, like,
for me,
as whatever his reputation was, like, I don't know. I still think, like, the trophies he's won, I don't know. He never caused any trouble while he was here. Always consistent. Trophies put in. He broke records as a defender. All that kind of stuff. It's got to count for something. Going to Madrid. I mean, there's probably outside of England, that's the club that's like, hard. Like everyone talks about hard, they turning down Madrid because he hates Madrid because of Ramos and all that stuff. But I suppose I think that's probably the only thing that's the one thing that does sting me the most. The fact that he's leaving, I've made my peace with that ages ago. But the fact he's going there would be really the one thing that I'd be looking at him, giving him a little bit of the side eye on, going, "You're going there? Interesting choice, my friend. Your life, go live it." But that's certainly an interesting choice. I don't think any will be asking you to send home kits for them. Well, some Liverpool fans might be asking them to send back his Real Madrid kits, but I don't think there'll be too much call for them on Merseyside. You see too many trends in Real Madrid kits.
I think it's the one club on earth he would have left us for. Barca being in the current state they are, I don't think he'd went anywhere else. It is a huge draw, isn't it? Like, and if I was him, I'd have done it. Like, I'll say that much. If I got off myself, like, I'd have done it. Like,
well, let's like I said, excuse me. Let's end this conversation on a high note, and because I honestly do think that I put the question in the chat for the chat, and I'm going to ask the panel the question 1 second. I honestly do think that there can be an argument made that I believe that we've just been blessed to have watched one of, if not the best right back of the Premier League era, I believe. I know that might be me speaking from some red tinted glasses, some might say, but I honestly think that he is an even more incredible, more dynamic performer when it comes to the right back, especially how he's basically helped re-engineer what a right back is looked at as doing. I know there's some that might say Kyle Walker might be the best of all time in the Premier League. Some might say Gary Neville. Some might say Bakary Sagna, right?
No.
Some might even say that. But
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what some might say. I'm not saying
I
you
know, I
or
don't
I.
meet them. I'd take him out for a pint and have a sit down and then call the medics.
Okay. Well, all the same. And then maybe there's some that might say Reece James. I don't know. Maybe you got a bone to pick and you wear that Chelsea blue. But yeah, there's very few names out there that I think you could offer out that you could say are better than Trent Alexander-Arnold when it comes to the right back position. If there is, I'd love to hear who you think was. This is just a Premier League era. I'm not saying I'm not speaking on before the Premier League era, because football has certainly changed and adapted, adjusted to how certain roles for players have been interpreted. So there's incredible right backs from the past eras. I'm just speaking on this era. I think I'd be hard pressed to see if you could name a name that's a better right back in the Premier League era. That's just my perspective. But I put this question in the comments section as to what was your favorite. Here, let me put this on here to end this on a high note. What's your personal favorite Trent moment? And if you're watching this on the replay, leave it in the comments section. But or if you don't want to include it in the chat, maybe later on when you figure it out, or you come up like, oh, I just remembered. Oh, now I can think of, I guess you thinking clearly now or something. Put it in the comments section and definitely include it in the conversation. But for you, Brian, what is your favorite Trent moment, if you had to pick one?
I don't really. He doesn't have, other than that one. To me, it's more like kind of certain games that he played, the way he played, as opposed to like iconic moments. He scored some long rangers, scored some nice free kicks, but they weren't, they were nice and all that, pretty spectacular. But like, he does have that iconic moment.
Okay.
But other than that, it's more just his when he be on it in a game, and it was the boys up front, the two boys, either Mane, Salah, and he was just, he was still bombing down a bit, but he'd start spraying long passes. One of those games where everything was kind of coming off for him, and he just bend in an unbelievable cross or something like that. It was more of those kind of like patches where it's like, he was just basically on it for a night. Like Bernie's saying, some of his passes, we haven't really had that since Alonso, to be able to do that. You can't do it on the ground the way Alonso can. You can do it distance-wise, though. So it's just more him as a player. Like, he's a few obvious moments. Like, a lot of people say corners in quickly, but to me, he doesn't really have that many moments that actually stand out in my head. Just more overall performances.
Okay. How about Brian is not picking one, so I'll let Lee pick one then. How about that, Lee? You get to choose a moment, a Trent Alexander moment that really is symbolic to you, or one of his best.
Okay, there's been a few. I'm going to pick a less obvious one. It's not going to be the corner. It's not going to be the goal against Leicester away after we become champions of the world. It's going to be something else. Oh, bloody hell, I've got to think now, haven't I? I'll go for that cross he did this season. It was onto someone's head, but it was dead good. It was onto Diaz's head. And then after it was done, Diaz run over and he did that thing where he shined Trent's boot. That was good. So I'll give it that. It's like that over the years, like loads of good crosses. There's been other big moments and like a bit different moments, like, but it's just been his crosses over the years. So, and that was one this season I enjoyed, like, and Luke Joe did too.
Okay. Let's go to Alante then. Alante, do you have a moment? And Brian, definitely, if you see some in the chat, just definitely you can share them.
I'm stuck between 3 moments with Trent. The 4-0 against Leicester in our title winning season. He was unplayable that day. He, just play. I mean, you've never seen a right back. I don't think you see a right back be a playmaker, from his position anytime soon. So that 4-0 against Leicester, he was unplayable that day with the goal. Obviously, the obvious Barcelona quick free kick, played, I mean, not that obviously, what a night, what a comeback, obviously. And there's one that gets slept on. I think his defensive display in Man City in the 2 quarterfinal games when we reached the final in 2018 against Sane. I thought that is I thought his best defensive performance at the club. Kasane was red hot at the time, and he done a good defensive in 2 legs. So those are the 3 things for me with Trent. It's hard for me to choose the one out of those 3, but those 3 stand out.
Okay, all right. JK, how about for you?
Bro, for me, it's like the way he just crosses the board. There's no one better than him. Like, he's such a good player, and I think he's wasted the last 3 years of his career, bro. Why? He's probably thinking about Real Madrid a long time ago. It ain't just happened last week. This been going on for a while. You know what I mean? Hence why he's been poor for us the last 3 years. He isn't the Trent I thought would be back in the days when he first came on the scene. But if I were to have to pick a moment, same as Atlante, bro, that free kick against Leicester, 4-0, beautiful. And of course, Barca. That's just the way it is, Shame though, man. Shame he's going.
Yeah, his dreads were on point. I liked him with the Nazi dreadlock look. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised that I didn't see. I was trying to see some of them. I saw Norm's. I don't know if Brian was bringing them up. Did you free kick versus Chelsea away? I'm surprised that no one picked the Manchester City goal where he shushed the entire Etihad, basically. That was a very iconic moment for him, I believe, personally.
It meant a lot as well, that goal to us as well, didn't it? It wasn't his better ones to look at, like he had scored better looking goals. But yeah, it was a momentous thing, that goal, like that got us level. It was dead funny, that, like, because I mean, that goal we conceded was shabby, wasn't it, Haaland? So yeah, that was a big one. There's been loads over the years, like he has been a big player for us, and that's why people are pissed off, like, and a lot of people wetting themselves online, like, and going, "Oh, you're a traitor," and all that shit, like, but players come and go.
Yeah. I'm also surprised. Not surprised. One, I would have said that would have been possibly something that maybe would have put him into mention is double check and make sure too is his goal against Leicester. I think it's goal against Leicester, right?
Yeah, the away one. Is that when we won the Club World Cup? When we won 4-1 at Leicester, and Leicester were half decent still then, believe it or not. Like,
he had a masterpiece that game.
He was fucking second in the table or something, actually, like, to us when we played them that time.
Yeah, they were second. Yeah, I mentioned that game. I mentioned that.
We trounced them 4-1.
As well.
That was, yeah.
My apologies.
Let me just think. That probably was the most aesthetically pleasing goal I've ever seen him score. It was straight as the proverbial arrow, wasn't it? Like the way he hit it, like it went exactly where he meant it to go. Like, yeah, it was a lovely one. That probably is the strike for us. I'd say there's been a couple.
I also meant the goal.
Ones, but that it was just beautiful. That one.
That was definitely one. But I also maybe just go back as far as just Leicester 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago now. I mean, that game pretty much cemented
that one, wasn't it?
You know, yeah, we won
one
nothing.
As well. You've got to get a variety of goals, like, haven't you?
Yeah. Keep in mind that's this goal right here. That's him hanging up his shirt. Or maybe even, I would have even gone as far as to say maybe even. I know this is a push, or maybe this wasn't that great of a moment for a lot of people. I loved it because it included one of my favorite players, one of my iconic favorite players, the Gumshoe Warrior. That game against Fulham, where we were going to lose that game. We're down two goals in that game, and we ended up getting a goal from Endo, a goal from outside. I think it was outside the box that he got his goal. That kind of sparked the flame, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold with an absolute belter of a shot to win it. And that was an amazing moment. I don't know if you guys remember that moment or not. For me, though, it wasn't significant in the sense of, it won us a cup, or it was the reason why we got into Champions League or something along those lines. But it was just a point of, it just symbolized so much of what that team was all about. And I was like, never giving up, always fighting, always, no matter what happens, always going forward. That game was an incredible game.
Some would say he had a Stevie G-esque performance.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah, because he had 2 goals in that game.
Yeah, he played. He did. He played. He just had a Stevie G about him. I would have loved, again, my thoughts. I would have loved to see him in the midfield, but it's what's done is done anyway. So, but yeah, you're right.
A lot of Trent's best moments weren't goals or assists. It was just balls, like within a move that led to a goal or didn't lead to a goal. Like, it was just his balls out from the back. So, a lot of his best moments, they won't be goals or assists. Like, a lot of his best moments was just his balls played, like, within moves.
True. Truly. That's what you used to do, bro. There's no one else who can do that. 1 minute you defended, next second bang, Salah's through. How? Get the ball 30, 40 yarder from Trent. He's the best in the business at that. We'll see what he does at Real Madrid with that. If he gets better, if he gets his head down now and starts playing football again, you know what I mean?
He's going to have to. He's going to have to. It's going to be an immense amount of pressure on him. And
there's pressure now. There's big pressure on this guy, more than the Bellingham one, because for me, Bellingham left Dortmund. Trent leaving Liverpool is like big time pressure. We'll see how he gets on. Look, Coutinho, he messed it up. He couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? He got a lot of money.
I just saw something about Coutinho. I just read an article about Coutinho about when he made that comment. When he made his comment about why he chose to choose Barcelona and how he wanted to go there because he wanted to win. He wanted to win trophies and he wanted to, have success. And yet his exit ended up propelling us to monumental success.
One of the best things ever that turned out to be never was Coutinho putting Villa 2-0 up against City when City had to win the league. He got 2 or something like that. And it was like, yes.
He actually ended up winning the Champions League with Bayern Munich. Coutinho. I don't think he won anything with Barcelona.
No, he didn't. Barcelona.
I think
Weird
he won
one.
something with
Alone.
He won something with Bayern Munich, but I don't think he won anything with
Yeah, Champions League, bro, with Bayern Munich.
To be fair,
Yeah.
to be fair to Brandon was a good coach for him, like, and sort of got him going properly, like, and then after Brandon, like, Klopp got hold of him, like, and it was just like, no wonder he was gonna go on and get bought for a lot of money, but just didn't work out for him, didn't it?
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Maybe.
But at the same
Scored,
time,
but
they
JK,
were.
you were
Mhm.
saying, sorry, JK, he scored. Bayern knocked Barca out in the 8-2. Barca, when Bayern humiliated Barca, Coutinho scored twice against them while he was on loan at Bayern, knocked them out.
Great.
It's
Knocked
surprising.
Barca out of the Champions League while he was on loan from Barca.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have a clause where he couldn't play against his parent club or something. But
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they don't do that in Europe. I think they only do that within domestic leagues.
Yeah.
When we
Exactly.
bought him, you know, because we were so shit when we bought him, like, and then I think you saw LFC. It used to be free in them days, LFC TV. But anyway, you used to be able to see him a lot, like, and shit, like, and he was just brilliant. Immediately, you could see he was fucking brilliant. It took him a while, like, didn't it, to like reach his peak? But it was. He said he got taught off Suarez how to do free kicks better. Because, like, he couldn't do free kicks properly, they were weak in that. Suarez was like, yeah, I'm a small fella, so I'll show you how. And he helped him a bit to do free kicks, and then them free kicks he was doing, like, before the end.
oh yeah, Coutinho, yeah, helping out. Right. He was a magician. He was truly a magician.
He was, for me, one of my favorite players. And the thing is, when Coutinho left, we weren't a great team. Like now, we've just won the league and Trent's leaving. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a different vibe.
Bits that he'd do in the middle of matches were just insane, weren't they? It was just like he was something different, wasn't he? He was something extra. Coutinho, like, wasn't he?
But 8 million as well, man.
I mean, it didn't win us a fucking league or nothing, like, you know what I mean? Other teams had lesser players and won leagues, like, but the stuff he did for us was just outrageous.
Let me do something. Let me bring in Bernie. It's never polite to make a lady wait. And I would like to say thank you for being patient. I hope that you're well, Bernie. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, 12th. I always like to say
That's better.
permission to come on board, Captain 12th.
Yes, definitely. This
Hi,
is
guys.
the Reds yacht, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not T-Pain though. I'm not T-Pain, but
no, it's well, Max is in the room, so I can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
Oh yes, I know Max. Yes, we all love Max's hijinks. But shout out to Max. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Great number of people out there. Obviously, before I transition into the next segment, I'm going to allow for you to say what was your moment. Do you have a personal favorite Trent moment, Bernie? Oh, Bernie, I was asking you, do you have a personal favorite Trent moment that you wanted to share? Oh.
Bernie, your phone's gone to sleep.
Yeah.
I think he has to go back out and in again.
No, do you know what? Do you know what's happened? Do you know last night when I said it was breaking up all the time? It started again today, so I don't know what's up with my phone. My contract's out, so I'm sure they mess your phone up, so you're going to go and buy a new phone.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to buy a new phone.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm sure
just asking. We're just asking you to give us your personal Trent favorite. It can be your personal favorite Trent moment. It doesn't have to be iconic in the sense of it matters for this or matters for that. It's just your personal favorite Trent moment.
I mean, the one I can remember the best is that one with the corner with Origi with the goal, because it sort of like it was pivotal in the game and it was so cheeky, wasn't it? And it was just so cheeky, and you just thought, wow, this is something special. He's something special. So that's. I mean, there's obviously loads, because he made some pivotal passes for us.
That above all has become legendary now. It's like he doesn't do it, but for me, he almost winks at the camera before he does it now. Like, every time I watch that.
Yeah, you're almost a bit disappointed that he's not going to do it again, aren't you? You know, when he takes a corner, you think, oh, if only he could replicate that. But it was so. He said he'd practiced it, didn't he, in training? I don't know whether they had, but he said it was. Well, they must have done because Origi was on the ball, wasn't he, waiting for it?
Yeah, he was waiting for it, ready for it. I was. You know, it's another funny one that I just thought of actually, and. Special. One of your favorite moments could have been when Trent practically mooned the Etihad crowd too that day. Oh wow, that was a funny one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he didn't know his shorts were hanging low.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, the little
It
plumber's
has
crack.
virtually no
Plumbers,
hope
what we call
whatsoever.
plumber's crack here the plumber's crack is what we call it here.
Oh yeah, they call it the builders here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun.
The Barcelona game, the comeback game, the 4-0, I held virtually no hope whatsoever that we were going to win that at all. I did not believe at all. Like until the game kicked off, like it got going, but I thought we were out there. So yeah, that was a massive moment. Like as I say, like watching it now, like when he takes that corner, it is funny because you know what's coming, but it was a lovely moment, like because.
Well, I'm gonna
one of the
switch up.
things amazing about Barcelona players' reaction to it, like it was like, "This can't be legal. You're doing this to us."
Oh, the only thing better would have been if that was corner taken quickly against.
Or you're going to say it's offside or something.
I was going to say I'm going to switch it up here a little bit, get into some other talk about our team. I think we spent a good hour there speaking on Trent. Proper acknowledgement of his announcement. So while we process that whole Trent, leaving thing, let's be honest, Liverpool aren't going to sit on their laurels. Their eyes are already scanning for the future, and one name topping that list right now, a name that I'm excited to see associated with Liverpool. I'm hoping we can get it across the line. I'm hoping no other team comes in and tries to overwhelm him by giving him some crazy number. You know how Manchester United likes to do. And that is Dean Huijsen, the Bournemouth defender, has quietly become one of Premier League's most sought-after talents, and he's just 20. Jamie Redknapp, for instance, said he's got a bit of Spain, a bit of Netherlands, and the Italian sharpness. He's a complete modern defender. Bass is already he is already putting a little dampener on the parade here on the celebration. I don't think he's going. If he's gone to Madrid, it'll be a while before that happens. But word is Huijsen will decide his future this month. That is what the word is. And with a £50 million release clause, the price might be steep for some, but the reward could possibly be huge for us if we are to bring him in. I'm going to ask this of the panel, and I'll start with Bernie. Would you break the bank for Huijsen if it means no marquee forward?
I think I'd break the bank for anybody at the moment. I feel like we haven't spent, we've hardly spent a bean. So I think I'd break the bank for anybody coming in. But I think, as a player, he's very exciting. I think he could do great things for us. And I think he'd fit into the team really well. Yeah.
I said a bit of Italian, I said a bit of Dutch because he is technically, I know that he has, it says, everyone regards him as being Spanish, technically, but he was born in Holland. He's got Dutch blood in him.
Yeah, it's a Dutch name, isn't it, I think?
Yeah. Yeah. So like I hear people often reference him as Spain, as oh he wants to return to Spain. He wants to return to Spain. And I'm just thinking like, okay, well, maybe he wants to stay with his Dutch brothers. I'll ask this then too. Do you want to say something?
Me? No, like yeah, I thought that was going fine. But I don't know why you had to tack that bit on the end of it. It means we don't get a forward. I mean, that to me it'd be separate. Like, should we go
If
and
it
get
means a
Huijsen?
marquee forward is going to be an 80, 90, maybe 100 million. If it means if you have to pay extra, and maybe if you're getting into a bidding war, especially, I know we don't like to get to bidding wars, but if you had to pay a little extra to get this guy in, since he's such a young talent, he could be the future of our defensive center halves. We all understand how important is. I get people love goals. I love goals too, but having a perennial striker is important, but having a perennial center half is as equally important in my view. So if it means you'd have to break the bank to get him, would you do so? If it means possibly taking away from that kitty that you'll be able to use to get that forward, because you're not going to be able to get a Huijsen and an Isak most likely in the same run.
I just think we can do, but I don't think 50 million is a huge amount of money to this day and age. It's not like if it was like 90 million for Bastoni or something like that. I just think we could get Huijsen and it wouldn't affect our ability to do things further forward. I think we'll have enough just with people coming and going, or people leaving mainly. I'd go out and get. I think that's great. Like, look at the prices we were being quoted not that long ago for people like Levi Colwell was 70 million. Mark Gay 80 million. It's probably the going rate for someone like that. Now he's still the only thing about it, he's still very young, but like I won't stop talking about it. I was the first person to bring him up on this channel. It was like in November. I saw someone else doing a video on TiVo sensible transfers, and I've been talking about him since then. Keep an eye on this kid. So I've been keeping an eye on him. Yeah, he's top quality young centre half. Madrid apparently want him, but aren't sure if they want to spend 50 million on someone in his position right now. I think the door is open there. I think he's definitely going to move. Him playing alongside Virgil. Yeah, like someone's there. Yeah, he is Dutch. They were born in Holland. They basically moved to Spain when he was a kid.
Do you not think though that? Do you not think that?
I'd go and get him. And I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, if you told me, oh, John Henry said you can have Huijsen or you can have a striker, I'd said okay. If it's that, if it's that straight down the line, you can either have Huijsen or you can have a striker. I'd get a striker, but I think we should be able to do both.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
Hopefully it won't come to that, but we have to choose between the two. But he does seem a dead ringer, doesn't he? For lack of a
like if 12 was asking me if I have to choose, I'd choose a striker over.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a few. I can't say after us having the drought for so long. I just think that they've got money put aside, and also as well Hughes. I mean, what's he done since he's got here? They've got to get us a few players, otherwise he's got to go.
Oh, Hughes out already. Oh, there's your first Hughes out shout.
JK merch, slots out, Bernie's merch, Hughes out. Buy or you go out.
Yeah.
$9.99 now. All stores available near you.
Is he gone? Is Hughes gone, is he?
No,
I'm just here the first person to call for. He was
out.
Oh
no. It was just that Hyler said something about his resigning his earlier signings to Liverpool. He's got to do something, hasn't he, this year? And Slot seems to be quite happy that there's something going on. So I think there's, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think we've got a few, signings in the pipeline. I hope so. A few key ones. And like you said, 50 million is not a lot today, is it? Really?
Huijsen was one of them, Bernie.
Well,
not for me.
I'll ask you this, Lee. Does he remind you of anyone from Liverpool's past?
Not really, no. haven't seen enough of him, but I know he's good, like, and all that, like, and he's tall and wins loads of headers. I just, like,
Very
good
tall. He's like
tackler.
6'5".
So,
He's
like,
just
yeah,
6'5". He's massive. He's taller than
so
Virgil.
I'm basing my liking for him on, like, what I've heard, rather than seeing. So he sounds like a dead ringer, as I said. You know, to be a major player for a big team instead of a small team.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't remind you of. I thought maybe someone would say Sammy or something like that, but okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, then I'll ask you this question. Then we'll ask Nolante this question. Can he slot into a back line without a VVD anchoring it? Could he be a possible successor, in essence, then, to Virgil? Do you rate him that much? Nolante, the question is for you.
Huijsen, to be honest, no. I think he's overrated, if I'm honest. I think there's too much hype over him. Yeah, he is. I don't see he's good, but I just people overrating him too much. Like Norm said, on the halfway line, he gets turned easily. He's slow. He's slow in defense. He's a good player, but he's way overrated for me.
Okay.
He can get me Hato, get Jarrell Hato, someone like that who's quick, who's just as good. You know, who can play in two positions.
Okay.
So,
you and Norm have the same opinion on that one. Okay. All right. JK, do you does this player remind you of anyone from Liverpool's past, and is he have the ability to be put into the lineup? Let's say, could you see a Huijsen and Kwanzaa center half pairing? I know it might not be exactly on everyone's
After yesterday's display by Kwanzaa,
want list. I know right now with Kwanzaa playing the way he's playing lately, but Kwanzaa might be one for the future still.
I think Kwanzaa needs a hug first of all. I think Jurgen needs to go and pay him a visit, bro, because he ain't getting no love from slot. But that's a different story. But look, bro, the guy who scored against Arsenal the other day, as soon as he scored, something happened to he was just speeding. Like he's gonna come to Liverpool. This guy, it was just a feeling. But for me, I agree with Nolante and say Norman and that this guy's been on the scene for like a season, not even a season yet, and he's like 50 million. You know, his potential. Right. He's 19. He's young, tall. Is he quick? No, I don't think he is. But at the end of the day, his potential you're paying for. And it's up to him and say the way we train and stuff that if he gets that, if he makes it, but potential wise, he's a good player, bro. A lot of hype around him already right now.
I think we should though have a good backup for in case Verge goes off. If he got an injury, and I think. We know we need a striker, don't we? We talked about Jota and Nunes yesterday, and we know we need a good right back and obviously a left back as well. So I think there's a few key players that they're going to have to get the cash for just to strengthen the team if we're going to go and attack it for all competitions next season.
Okay.
I just quickly sound if you didn't have any other business to do, and you had just signed up Virgil van Dijk at 33 with 2 more years left, and there's a guy like Huijsen out there who you could easily, I'm not going to say he's the next Virgil van Dijk, but he's a high quality young centre half. It would be perfect business to bring in a kid like him. Like I say, in a season where you don't have a lot to do, give him 2 years under Virgil, see how he gets. He'll only be 21, 22 then. That'll be a really smart, clever thing to do. But we've a lot of other business to be doing. Like you said, we don't have an endless pot of money. So is he someone I'd like to see us sign? But that to me, it just sounds like you bring him in. If Ibu wants to go to PSG, then we might need someone. But
to me, this is a sign
just his age. It's just his age.
Be involved to take him from Bournemouth. I don't think we'll have enough money to take him from Bournemouth.
No,
Okay.
but it's like Jay said, these guys, he's done it 1 year and they're 50 million pound centre halves. That's just, that's just the madness of football. He has literally just had one good
Oh,
season. Clearly good player, got
yeah,
a start for Spain, scored for Spain, got an assist,
yeah.
full international now, but it's still just one good season in the Premier League. How many times have we seen someone have one good season and then it's like, whatever happened to him?
Do you
Yeah.
remember
know,
Wenger used to moan about that? Like he was saying, about buying players, like as an English, from an English club, like he said, it's just a massive tax on English clubs. But actually, within the Premier League, trying to buy a player from another club, like it's terrible. Like sometimes, like the fees that they want for barely established players. I mean, I was thinking about like a lot of the players that I'd like us to buy, like in midfield and that, but there's not a chance in hell we could afford half of them, like, or even like a few of them, really. Like, I can only think of about like 3 or 4 midfielders that we could afford.
Okay. Polo.
I think Kwanzaa. I Kwanzaa is keeping Kwanzaa. He said he wants to play every week, and I think if they got a good figure for him, I think they'd take it.
I mean, look, I agree. I understand what you're saying, but I think that if they didn't believe in Kwanzaa, they probably would have taken the deal to bring in Gordon and give Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa was apparently the player that was the
Make weight in the deal.
Yeah.
Yep. Gordon. Yep. Oh, I hope we never buy Gordon. He's so shit. My dad's an Everton fan, as I've told you, like, so I've seen a lot of Gordon when he played for Everton. Just like watch the match with my dad a lot, like, and he's so shit, mate. He's not shit and he's not useless, right?
But he's just
not a Liverpool player. No,
no. You just don't want to see him as a Liverpool
player.
The
idea is
he's kind of made his bed, kind of lying it. Well, let me get into this right now. We're gonna get into a little. Got 2 more segments coming up. This is the third, and the third is obviously going to be a quick recap. And I know most of us want to pretend like yesterday didn't happen, but it did, unfortunately. And that is the Chelsea loss, reaction, and possibly slot squad depth test. I guess you could say, let's not sugarcoat it. Chelsea defense was decent enough against us to hold us at bay at times. And the defeat looked on paper, I guess, when you see 3-1, you'd probably say, oh, we got handled. I don't necessarily know if it was like a embarrassing loss, but I don't know. It seemed like Ibu was more interested in doing his dance party at the end of the match. We had a little bit of a sluggish midfield with 3 players being put in that normally don't play or definitely don't start together. Fringe players kind of were left flat on their face. This wasn't what champions looked like, even if the title's already sealed, in my opinion. I was a little disappointed that we didn't come out with more fire in our belly. But for players like Elliott, Kwanzaa, Endo, this seemed to be almost like a tryout for them. Some passed, some didn't. Endo made his first Premier League start after the title was won. That should say a lot, by the way. And look, Slot's vision depends on depth. But can you build a second string good enough to rotate for 4 competitions? It's the big question. So I'll ask this: did anyone boost their stock versus Chelsea, in your opinion? We'll go around the horn here with these questions. Brian, did anyone boost their stock versus Chelsea?
What's the opposite? Tanking.
What's the what?
The opposite is tanking, right?
Yeah, tanking for chances. Yeah,
that's all they did. Nobody, again, told you so moment, but I predicted a loss. I predicted a 3-1 the night before, but on yours, I just predicted Chelsea were going to beat us. And for predictable reasons. And yeah, Elliott, ghost, Jones, ghost, Endo, probably the only one, but he didn't even boost his chances because he just went out there and did Endo stuff. You know, it's not like, oh, what a revelation he was. You know, it's just, no, he did what he's good at. Kwanzaa, again, having looked at, I agree with Nalante, he was getting a lot of abuse, obviously, yesterday, probably for an own goal and a penalty given away. You know, if you didn't watch the game, you say, oh, he was trash. Oh, was he? He scored an OG and gave away a penalty. Oh, well, that sounds like a terrible game. But if you watch the incidents, no. But he was also really bad. He was actually bad. If you look at it and you look at his numbers, lost most of his duels. I think 1 in 3 ground duels, 2 from 6. I mean, he just lost basically. The things we were talking about before. So he didn't really step up. Again, it's hard to do it under pressure. It's not an away game it's against a big team that wants to win stuff, but there's your cauldron, go out and perform. So yeah, pretty much down marks for everybody. Nobody will have slot there thinking, wow, I really, got to start this kid. He's got to be in the team. So yeah, like Anna's saying there, being at the game, Jones's performance was unacceptable. He is arrogant and way overconfident in himself. They just, yeah. I didn't. I'm still waiting for Jones to turn into something. He's still just this sort of meh average. He just does something every now and again. The rest of the time, he just floats around. So yeah. It's sort of, did he give him enough rope to hang themselves with? I think there might be a little bit of that where he can turn around and go, every time I've started these guys, they haven't done it for me. He may not have started them a lot, but he can turn around and say, here you go.
That's harsh.
Poor
That's
man.
harsh,
Very depressing. Very depressing, I thought. Really depressing.
Because that's harsh. I only say it's harsh in the terms of it wasn't their performances that were the lacklusters. I mean, they're out there with the regular starters who had, I think, poorer game, that less brilliant games, to say the least.
No. I thought with your question, you meant to
I know
me
what you mean. I know what you mean.
that you meant any of the guys that were given a shot, did they step up?
Yeah.
No, everyone was awful, dude. Jesus, no,
Yeah.
I'm not everyone apart from probably Endo was either just a shade above or below awful. Gakpo, VVD, Sabo, well, not Sabo, but Simi, Ali probably had an okay game, I suppose. But yeah, the rest of them, from front to back, from left to right, pretty much all of them. But just, I thought, in terms of the guys that were given the shot, did they really stamp the mark on it? Yeah, I suppose Endo just said, look, boss, even when everything is falling shit around me, I'll still give you a decent game. That's about it, probably.
Well, then I'll ask this of Lee then. Has Elliott's Liverpool ceiling already been reached?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think Harvey's going somewhere else to become the player that he's going to be sometime in the future. But there just isn't enough room here. There aren't enough positions for him in the squad or in the team.
Okay.
Or the other way around, in the team or in the squad.
Okay.
Jones,
go ahead, Bernie.
I was going to say, Elliot seems to be more of an impact player. He doesn't do bad when he comes on, when he's brought on, second half or something for a bit, and he can create a bit of excitement. But to be given a start from the beginning for the first half, he sort of didn't make any, creative moves at all. That was his big chance, and he's blown it, really.
I would like it for the kid if he went on and was successful somewhere else, but we've seen enough now. It's not going to happen here, is it?
It's a shame because he absolutely loves the club, doesn't he? But and then Jones. What got me about Jones was how long he held on to that ball, and why not pass it and get rid of it fast instead of getting dispossessed of it? So that was annoying. But I think Endo, he got a mark 7 out of 10 off most of the pundits. And I think he won 4 out of 5 of his duels. He was probably the only one who went out and did the job he was supposed to do, and had a fair go at it. And that's a sad indictment. I think they rated after that. I think they rated Allison the best after Endo. So that and we lost. So it doesn't say much, does it?
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of bias with me with Jones. I do like Jones, and I do still believe in Jones. And what you believe in him is a massive debate, but I think he could be a good squad player for us at least for years to come. Is that fucking denigrating Curtis by saying he could only be a squad player? No. He could be part of something really good, but he needs to just stay here, and stay fit and that.
But when we're talking about legends and at the club, and I'm really to win everything, all the trophies we want to win. We want a team of 11 legends with good backups on the bench, really. And when you think about it, it's not going to be Jones, is it? Sad as it is, he'll be a good impact player coming off. But even then, you couldn't say consistently he would every week.
Well, real quick then, this is a yes or no answer for the two of you, since you just commented on Jones. Transition to Jones from Elliot, but still, do people feel Jones has had a good season overall? Do you think that Jones has had a good season this year? This is a yes or no answer, Bernie.
I would say yes because we won the
Lee.
title. Sorry.
Okay.
I would say yes because we won the title.
Yes for Lee. Okay.
And he's one of the scousers in our team.
Okay.
Can't we say average?
I mean, you could say average, then that wouldn't be good. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I would say no. I think he should. Well, no.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Norm is a no as well. That's why I was just wondering. All right. Well, I'll ask this of JK and Alante then. JK, why are we seeing this lack of intensity post-title? Do you think that it's the weight of the season finally now that they've achieved what they were setting out to achieve? It's kind of like, let's just get through these 3 games, and get to that. Or do they have their bags already packed for the beaches, basically? Or do these players want to play or will we see that kind of intensity that you're talking about that we saw from, for instance, like an Endo, in the sense of just going out there and it's as if it's game 1 as opposed to game 36 or whatever it is, 35, 36.
It's that cliche saying, "Oh, the season's done, they've won it, they're not going to be playing at full force." You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, bro, look at that game yesterday. We could have got something, at least a point there. As soon as Virgil scored, we didn't capitalize on the next 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And when it gets a point or whatever it was. But for me, bro, we've got enough players in the team who've had a sort of holiday season anyway. Darwin, Chiesa, Elliot, Endo, Tsimikas, a lot of guys who haven't had a lot of game time. So for me, they should be ready and fighting, ready to give us a top-notch display. And that was a bit lacking yesterday. Elliot and Jones, not great, I don't think. Jones is remember at the start of the season, bro, we had a show, and I remember I think me and you agreed on it that it's a big season for Jones and Darwin.
Yeah.
If you can remember that. And
yeah, absolutely remember it. Yeah.
Now looking at it, I think Jones has improved, but for me, he holds the ball for about half a second too long. He don't keep it ticking. He don't keep it flowing. He's a good player mentally. I've seen him, like the way he positions himself and stuff like that. But for me, him and Darwin, they haven't had a great season.
It has improved with Curtis in recent years, how long he keeps hold of the ball, but it's still a tendency with him.
That's the
Okay.
problem with him, bro. He just don't keep it ticking. When the position he plays, he needs to keep it ticking. Get the ball pass. Get the ball pass. I'm waiting for a Stevie
He
Gerrard
is
moment
good
from him.
sometimes, like when he gets pinned in and that. Like I do enjoy Curtis's flourishes at keeping the ball, but yeah, no, it's just on the forward break. Sometimes he keeps hold of the ball too much, but at the same time, I mean, you get
Yeah, but bro,
some of our best goals in the last like whatever 18 months, and that Curtis has been involved playing the ball out from a corner from the opposition. Curtis is involved somewhere, like.
no, he gets involved, but for me, he don't give me a Steven Gerrard display. Get the ball, bang in 2 goals, win us the game on his own. You ain't gonna get that from Jones, I don't think. And that's what it all boils down to, bro. I think Gerrard is a high standard player compared
No,
to,
he
you know,
could be the best player in the world, though. Like, so I hope Jones is just like one of our good squad players for a
squad
while.
player, bro. For me, him and Elliot, if they want to stay, for me, I'm happy to have them in the squad. I don't think they'll ever be starters for Liverpool. But
To
Jones
be
will have
honest,
to start.
sometimes when I see him, when I see he's playing, I'm like, oh fucking hell, we're not gonna be as good today. But he has done alright a few times this season, like.
Yeah, but yesterday, bro, was this game against Chelsea. Palmer was his guy to man mark. Palmer was taking the piss out of him. Like Palmer got man of the match.
Yeah, I think some of the best ones have been like where he's been deployed, like for a specific reason. Chelsea at Anfield, and then City away.
City
Uh,
away, top game.
yeah,
Man's about today.
Spurs, League and Cup.
He's had good games this season, Jones. Consistency, bro. And that's what it is. Come on. It's about to try another guy the same consistency. Salah.
well, we said this about
Yeah.
Curtis. Like, there's nothing that he can't do. Actually, as a footballer, he can actually win tackles. It's not his natural game, all that, like, but he can win tackles. He can cover. He can pass. He can score. But it's in flourishes with Curtis, isn't it? Like it's not as regular as you need it to be.
You gotta
like,
think. You gotta think that Curtis is a player that one he got. There's a reason why Stevie G took such interest in him when he was coaching him, and it's also a player that maybe post Trent Alexander-Arnold is possibly the most talented player to have come through the academy, meaning that he is, after Trent left the academy, he was the next and best thing at the academy. And he's a player that has seen himself not only get to play for this team, but has played certain roles. I mean, he was called on as being one of the most, I said he was one of the most essential players in that I think the last year of Klopp. Unfortunately, he got injured with random injuries, like the eye injury or so, like weird injuries that took him out of getting a real consistent flow. But Klopp was choosing him pretty consistently. And then even go further, we talk about how this coach doesn't really like to deviate from his normal starting squad. But Curtis Jones is one of those players that he does make an occasional switch when it comes to putting in another player as a starter. So that says a lot about Curtis to me, at least. I know people have their opinions on Curtis. I've seen them in the chat.
Played quite a few minutes this season in a title-winning team, didn't he? So that's got to go
Exactly.
through.
That's got to say something.
Yeah,
It says a lot.
I honestly think that I don't want to be rude when I say this, but to you, Troth, or to Lee, but I honestly think that you're missing a point. That it's almost like you're settling for second best. like our club, we deserve the best. And you know, when he's on his game, yeah, he's played some great football. But if only he played like that every week, if only he played like that every other week. But we're seeing it every now and then, a spurt of great football, and then the rest of the time he's just a bang average, and we can't have a bang average player, you know. So that's the way I look at it.
I will be honest with you, he has played shit like one too many times, like, but the whole team has at the same time. Usually, when it's a shit game, like the team's been off it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
we've got. Well, I think we've got to stop settling for less than
Mediocre.
you know. So because if we want to be champions of everything, we need champion players. Not like he's good sometimes, and other times he hasn't turned up, or he's, you know, these are his flaws. Everyone's got flaws, but that, you know, under any team we've ever had that we've been successful at, Curtis wouldn't get in there every week. As simple as that for me, you know. And likable guy, but likes don't win you the trophies.
It's to a large degree, it's the Scouse thing with me. It's like because he speaks like me, and that's why I like him. Same with Trent. Like Curtis even more so. He's got a stronger Scouse accent. Like, or him to stay in the squad.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I understand exactly what you mean, Bernie. I'm not. He might not be a starter for you, or maybe even for this team, or even maybe for other teams. But I think there is something about Curtis that resonates with me, at least, in that he has the what's the words I'm looking for? He has the makeup of what a Liverpool player should be. I just think that because he's gone through all those steps and obstacles to get to this stage. There's just the Scouse part definitely resonates. I'm not technically Scouse myself, but I believe in another life. Right, in another life, I was possibly.
You are the yes.
But I can understand why it would resonate. It's just that there's players that, despite the fact that yes, they might not be world class. I'm not saying that he can't be or not or won't ever be, but he's certainly not world class at the moment. I'm willing to acknowledge that.
Well, how long would you give him though, 12th? You know, I mean, how old is he now?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember Klopp said to him if it was his last year if he didn't prove himself? And don't get me wrong, you know, I mean, I was born in Liverpool and brought up. I want a Liverpool player. I want as many Scousers in the team as you could get if it was possible, but only if they're the best for the team and the club. We've always had Scots, Irish, all different nationalities, Norwegian.
No, I'm not asked where anyone comes from as long as we win. But I do buzz off seeing Curtis on telly because he sounds similar to me. Like,
and of course, every club wants homegrown players. You want to blend. That's the ideal. That's the ideal. You want to blend up.
But it does also maybe even like the comments. I know it's maybe a poor time to bring up the Trent. It means more comments, but I mean, like, when it comes to some of these players, I mean, you might be Chiesa coming from Italy, and you get to Liverpool. You get there, and you just kind of don't get it. You're there, you understand. You maybe watched Liverpool on TV, or you know some of the players, or you know some of the lore maybe. But if your mother and father, like, you know, are Scouts, and you've gone to parochial school or gone to grammar school, you know, with those that are going to eventually be in that crowd, or maybe you were part of that crowd that used to go out there. I don't know, it would just like resonate differently. And like, I'm not saying that that's the only reason why he should be on the club, but I'm saying it is a certain kudo or a certain bonus feature to him being on the squad, in that he just kind of gets it. Like, as in, you know, if there were a case where, why are those fans yelling at me for this, or why are they reacting like that? He can get it. He understands it, because that's the culture that he's grown up with, you know. And he's also a bridge to those youth academy players that are trying to make that bridge into being the next Trent Alexander-Arnold, being the bridge into knowing that maybe if you're not world class, fantastic, you know, not everyone's going to be world class, but maybe still there are important roles to have on a team. Not everyone's going to be world class, but as long as you have a role and you can make it count and make it a contribution to whatever effort that we're doing, that's important. And that's why I value Curtis Jones.
No, I value him, but do you think...
I'm not saying you don't, and I didn't mean... Oh, sorry. I'm not saying you don't value him, by the way.
Do you think Shankly or Paisley would say that to him? You know, they just say, look, lad, you know, your heart and soul's in the club. You've been, you know, we'd really love to keep you, but, you know, you're not good enough. And, you know, anyway, but... I like him, you know. It's not about like, is it? That's what I'm saying. There's loads of players you like, and you think, oh God, if only. You know, is that lad's heart and soul's in the club, but ultimately, will he cut it with us to the first team to every week play consistently? And we've got, if we're going to do it all, we've got to play like City at their best, where every week every player plays the part, and we come off. And we know we can do it. That's all why we've won the trophies we've got. But we haven't got consistent play, and that's why we're getting these losses or draws occasionally. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to,
oh wow,
how's it going?
Yes, Buzzer.
So I have to come and defend my boy Curtis Jones a little bit.
The floor is yours, Baz. I'll put my mic on mute.
Oh, wait, let me make sure. B, did you finish what you had to say first? And
Finish it off.
Yeah, no, I did. I Baz, you interrupted, but go on, you're all right.
No, go for it. I'm listening.
He's ready for the speech down.
Red card already, bro. Red card already.
No, Baz, I was just saying, you know, although Curtis, he is a talented player, but we're not seeing it every week in, week out. And if we're not seeing it every week in, week out, he's not going to be good enough for us to win the trophies that we want to win. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. No. I agree. I mean, the thing is, all right, Curtis Jones, you know, he's like Marmite, innit? Either you love him or you hate him, really. And the thing with
I'm pretty. I'm right. I don't really either way. No, right. I just think he's okay. I think he's straight up the most okay player at the club. Really, one of them. He's just okay.
I mean, what you said earlier on, 12. Sorry, not 12. Brian, you're right. I mean, like, he does hold on to the ball a lot. You know, a few of these things. You know what I mean? And he's a bit cocky with it. But that's what Scousers are, innit? Like, a lot of them are like that, innit? Like, he is a bit too big for his boots. I said this when he first came. I was like, yo, you know, you're coming into this team, you think you're the big man, innit? You're not the big man just yet, bro. You know what I mean? He's got that arrogance, but sometimes you need that, innit? But my thing with him, he's not a starter, innit? So he's not a starter. So I think you do need squad players, innit? If you imagine that we get someone a lot better than him and they're sitting on the bench because you've got McAllister, Szoboszlai and stuff like that, you're not going to have a happy team. You're going to need some, I'm not going to say he's mediocre, but, you know, you need to have like a Scouser or a player that is, I don't know, say a 6 or 7 out of 10 that can get you through a game. Like, if we look at Endo's a great player, but no one will really start him, but you can bring him off the bench, you know, to shore up a game. And Curtis Jones, he's pretty much an all-rounder, isn't he? And when you look at his ball control and stuff like that, he controls the ball really well. Yes, he holds on to it a little bit longer, but when he gets put under pressure, he doesn't just drop and lose the ball. I do like him, but yes, he can improve a lot more, 100%. He's not the finished article, and, you know, and he's I would say, above average player. But I think, you know, he's important for a team like ours. You know what I mean? Like, especially now with Trent going, you do need that little bit of cockiness, you know, that scouse thing. Because if you don't have that, then we just become like
lose some of your identity.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, that's my little thing on him.
But
No, I
just
agree. I
quickly
think
on
that
that,
reason.
Baz, before quick, it was actually Anne who said that he's too arrogant and holds on to the ball.
I beg your pardon, sorry.
Or Norm, but and he was at the game. He was saying at the game yesterday. But no, and that is something I hear from a lot of people, and 90% of the people who say the first thing comes out of their mouth is he holds on to the ball too much. They're usually people who go to the match.
No. I think what you said though, Baz, is what I was trying to emphasize in the sense of, you know what, there's a reason why Curtis Jones took real offense after that Everton match and is ready to scrap. You know, there's a reason why he gets it a little bit, you know, in the sense of knowing how important the rivalries are, how important it is to, like, you know, to not be bullied or pushed around, especially by Evertonians, you know. You want some of that on the team. You need that element on the team, I believe. That personally, you know. And I think Bradley brings some of that. It helps when you can actually play as well. And I'm not saying he's world class, but I think he is a good player.
I just quickly, I think Bradley will bring some of that fire that you're talking about. Like, he's someone who's been not from Liverpool, but a Liverpool fan since he was 4 years old, and he's brilliant. He's going to bring fire. I think he's someone that will have. We've seen that tackle on Mbappe, that tackle on the other lad. He's going to bring some of that. People talk about Harvey Elliott knows what to be a Liverpool player. Bradley's wanted to be a Liverpool player just as long as Harvey Elliott has. So he'll also bring that passion. So, like, sometimes they don't have to be Scouse. It's nice, of course it is, but, like, if you're old enough, you're good enough. If you're good enough, you're Scouse enough, you know.
Maybe I go on and I don't Curtis is too much, like, because he's a Scouser. All right, he's a decent player. I hope he has a future here, right? But if he doesn't, bon voyage.
Well, there's this chance, isn't it? You know, if Trent's going, you know, they think the only Scouser on our team. Well, if I was Curtis, I'd be thinking, well, look, you know, I've been under a shadow of another great Scouser in the team. Here's my chance now. You know, for me, it's to show what I'm made of. And this is his chance, isn't it? And if he doesn't do it, then you'd have to accept that he's never going to do it.
To be honest, I'm never over the moon when I see he's in the starting 11, but I do value him as a squad player.
You were nearly crying before because I was saying bad things about him.
He goes through emotional roller coasters.
I know. He
has ups and downs.
Emotional damage.
Sometimes he does a loop as well. That's what you got to watch out for.
K-Mac, big up. You wanted to say something? You wanted to add a little piece to this conversation? It's because of this particular one, Curtis Jones, or is it about Trent?
Can we say that again, mate? My wife's talking in my other ear. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. I know which one you have to listen to.
Sorry.
But
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, Curtis Jones, you want to speak on that, or do you want to speak on Harvey Elliott?
I could speak on all three if you want really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jones has had a good season, let's be honest. Like, it's probably the best season he's had.
I think it's one of
been
his
consistent.
Best seasons, yeah, I agree.
I mean, he got thrown in a Liverpool team again. He got thrown in a Liverpool team with Chelsea with a load of players who really couldn't give an F about the game because they'd been on the lash for the last couple of days. And I think the only player who really gave a shit was Endo, because I don't think Endo drinks. I think he's teetotal. And he also comes across as like this real model professional that probably has like a strict like rule of everything.
Yeah, routine. He probably has a routine.
Didn't he bring a personal trainer over with him to to get him ready
Oh,
for
I
the
don't-
Premier League. Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
he did that as well. He just comes across as that guy. He was really good. Curtis Jones has had a good season for me. I think he's got like 6 goals, 5
3
assists.
goals in Prem. I know that. I don't know how many overall
so-
competitions, but in the Prem, I know.
And he's
And
got
I
into the
think-
England team as well.
Yeah, and he's been played all over the place, hasn't he? Like, let's be fair. Like, he's been a little
Yeah,
bit of a
he's
jack
right
of all
back.
trades,
He's
hasn't he?
played. Yeah, he's played right back. He's played.
He's not
10. He's played in the pivot.
And he's played on the left of the pivot. He's played on the right of the pivot.
Mhm.
Like, yes, didn't he end up being a left back at the end of the game?
I think he might have. Yeah, I think he might have
left
been
back for the last
back
10, 15 minutes.
when.
That's because
because
Chiesa
of-
came on for Simicas.
Yeah,
Yes, and- yeah.
yeah. So Curtis Jones will be fine. The bit, like, I think I've said this before to you anyway. The biggest problem we've got is, I think I said this a couple of shows ago, is Curtis Jones and Conor Bradley have only got 2 years left on their contracts, and we are in negotiations to get them renewed, and they are becoming a problem because Conor Bradley wants reassurances that he plays. Otherwise, what's the point in me signing a new contract for you to then go and get a player to be ahead of me? Yeah. And also Curtis Jones wants reassurances that he's going to get played because he's on 15 grand a week and Bradley's on 10 grand a week, and we've offered like 40 grand for both of them, and they're like, "Are you having a laugh?" Like,
No,
Like-
I'm not.
like
That's a
exactly, like
reasonable offer, though.
and they want 100 grand, which is like the game time that they're potentially going to get.
Okay, as
you
much
would
as I just said that I love Curtis Jones. If Curtis Jones
No,
was
but you
100,000
would expect a
pounds a
player of
week,
his caliber to be getting that
Okay,
kind of wage for
service.
playing that many games. It's mad,
Right.
I know. But we put ourselves in this situation. And who was the other guy? Who was the other guy who said Elliot?
Elliot, RB.
Look, I'm going to piss people off here. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I love Elliot. I think he's a great player. He wears his heart on his sleeve. But there's a reason
I like him as
why.
a person.
There's
I
a
like
reason
him
why
as a person.
Elliot is called the game finisher, because he can't start games because he hasn't got the strength and the physicality to be in games against fully fit players from the start. He can't do it, which is the reason why he gets brought on for the last 10, 15 minutes and he gets directed where to play on the pitch to target players that are tired. And he looks amazing when he comes on because everybody else is knackered. And he's running around like a sprite, like a spring chicken, because he's literally just ran off the bench. But Elliot, starting is not good enough for Liverpool. I'm sorry. He's just not good enough for Liverpool. He might be able to do it in another team, depending on how they play. But off the ball, he is woeful. He's woeful off the ball. He was at fault for their first goal yesterday. Not yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. He was at fault for their first goal because he wasn't strong enough and he got bounced off it. And we got to see, like, tell me a game this season that Elliot started that he's been good. I'd like to know because
Well,
I haven't seen one. He wasn't good against Plymouth. He wasn't good when we played Accrington Stanley from the start of the game. Like, and these are poor teams. Like, he's good at the end of games, which is fine. But how do you sell that to a player who's played 90 Premier League games on the clock? Like, started 90 Premier League games on the clock, to say to him, yeah, you can stay at the club, mate, but you're only going to play 20 minutes every game. You're never going to be the guy.
You know why, K-Mac, simple answer is this. He'll fight for his role. He already said that he wants to fight for it. But for the same reason why Endo is beloved, I can love Elliot as well, in the sense that, yeah, you're not starting, but still go out there with the same effort, the same intensity, the same amount of focus as if you are a starter.
But
And
we
he did
need
that
a
for
starter,
Klopp.
mate. but we need
We
starters.
don't get a starter out of Elliott if it means Elliott is there. There's no way I would say that. I don't think Elliott starts in front of Dominic Szoboszlai. I know a lot of people don't like Szoboszlai, but I don't think he does.
But what if
team,
Dom's not there? You need a starter.
If Dom's not there, then I think Elliott could
Then
be
you
a good
play
spot
Elliott,
starter.
and then you're at a disadvantage. That's basically how it plays out for me. You can't have a player.
I don't think it's a
you could get 50, 60 million for from a. You get a lot of money for Elliott, by the way. We pay buttons for him. We could get a lot of money for him. You can't have a player that you can't start. Like you should always have every player that you have off the bench. You should be able to start them at some stage. But he's not good enough. And we can't be having this conversation where Elliott's the scapegoat, because Elliott was the scapegoat for an entire season under Klopp when he wanted to do this midfield experiment that was an absolute mess, and we ended up finishing.
I remember that. Yeah, that was strange.
It was horrible, and I hated it because I'm like, it's not Elliott's fault. He's not a midfielder.
I blame Jürgen for that, not Harvey.
Do you remember that? You're like, it's not Elliott's fault. He's not a midfielder.
Yeah, we went away to beat Old Trafford, and he got beat at Old Trafford, by United in the ailing state that they were. And he was
so I'll ask this to them. I'll bring the panel on this because I don't want it to be just me versus K-Mac. I don't want this to be me versus K-Mac, but I mean, wait. Well, I was just gonna let us respond to your Elliott question comment, because I can understand where you're coming from, but he's a player that has gotten starts. He just unfortunately had injuries, and he would have probably gotten more starts, if not more playing time, if he hadn't gotten injured early in this season. Because he's a player in 2022, 2023, he had 18 starts in the Premier League. That's a lot of starts. 32 appearances, 18 starts. Last year, let me pull up his last year's stats because I know his numbers went down last year. But he played more games, but he was transitioning more to a super sub in essence, He even got asked that question in the Crystal Palace game. Do you mind being a super sub? And he's like, no, ideally I don't want to be, but whatever the role the team needs, I'm there for him. And he got 11 starts last year. And he go from 18 to 11 to 1. It's weird. That's a weird situation. I'll allow for anyone on the panel that wants to comment on what we're talking about.
I'm not digging on Elliott, by the way. I'm not saying he's crap.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But what I'm saying is we need a guy. We need someone who can start games. Slot needs a player that can start games, and Elliott is not that player. He's not that player. You can't start him. Because he hasn't. And when he has, it is what it is. Right?
Okay.
You can't have a guy that's worth 50 million sat on the bench who can only play 20 minutes because he's not good enough off the ball to do the job for 90 minutes. That's all I'm saying.
He hasn't been good when we've seen him this season. It's been it's a new regime, isn't it, this season? But he hasn't been very good. The bits that we've seen him this season, he's been a bit crap. I don't know if that's all on him. It's just the regime's changed. Things are different.
What it is, the bigger picture being, I don't like the way Slot sort of treated a lot of the squad. One thing Klopp was good at, he kept everything sweet. Every time a player came on the pitch, he was always smiling. Even though he wasn't getting regular starts, with Slot, it's a different kettle of fish. A lot of players are going training every day, not knowing if they're going to get minutes on Saturday or Sunday. A lot of these guys, bro. When Klopp was here, Elliott got a lot of game time. He was starting games against Man City, Man
and he
United.
shouldn't have, by the way. He shouldn't have.
What, starting them games?
No, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have played that. He shouldn't have played that much football as a kid in the Premier League. He shouldn't have, because now we're in a situation where he expects to play football, but that's just not how it works. There's so many games he played where he wasn't good. He really wasn't good. We carried him in games when he was in midfield. Like, there's so many games. Like,
You're talking about Elliott.
yeah, I mean, that season, when he pretty much played most of the season, the one you talked about, we had like 18 starts on it in the Premier League.
2022,
Dreadful.
2023.
Dreadful. Like, I didn't want to be digging on him. And I'm like, why the hell is that guy in midfield? He's not a midfielder. Like, oh, he's lost the ball. Oh, he can't get hold of him. Oh, he can't run past him. Oh, he can't track back. I'm like, geez. Like, and I get you always looking forward, and I guess you're always trying to do the risky pass.
I don't know about that one.
That
He had a
does
good
not
game.
get
That
you
year,
in
he had a
the
good
team.
game. That year, he had a good game against Crystal Palace. That year, he had a really good game against Manchester United.
He came off the bench, didn't he, against Palace to score the winner.
Yeah.
Another
Look, he
sub.
scored 3 Champions League goals in a row this season as well.
Yeah, against garbage teams. I know.
It MI he scored.
PSG's not a garbage team.
It MI. Come on,
Wait,
man.
is PSG? You're gonna
Champions
hold
League.
on. JK. I want to hear.
Oh
K-Max
no!
say
That was a
PSG.
good goal. That was a good goal.
Okay,
But he's also.
You said
But he was also.
you said
it was also
you
his
said
first
against
touch.
you said
It was his
against-
first touch on the pitch.
okay. That says
Good
something
goal.
else too. But you said against three
It was a good goal, but
garbage. You said
like
three
I
garbage
said,
teams.
like I said, he's a substitute.
make sure.
He's a substitute.
All right.
Like he's
All
a
right.
substitute. Like okay
Go
then.
ahead.
Okay, let me give you a scenario. Yeah, let me give you just one scenario. Yeah.
And then JK, then finish what you're saying. JK.
Harvey Elliott gets sold. Yeah, he gets sold to, I don't know, by Leverkusen because I really think that
Okay, I know
Xabi
that they have.
Alonso would probably take
Yeah.
him. 50 million.
Yeah.
We go and sign Angelo Stiller to replace him. There you go.
That's the scenario.
That's the scenario. Angelo Stiller, German international, plays games,
Okay.
one of the best progressive passers in the game, wins more defensive duels than most people, never gives the ball away. Like, he's an absolute monster. He's got more assists, he's got more goals. Like, all round,
Make a score.
he's 2 years older than him. He's 24.
Okay.
That's the thing with
Harvey Elliott's
Elliott. He's
22.
22, man.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
got a lot of time.
Yeah, but he ain't going to grow. He ain't going to grow 6 foot, is he? He's going to grow into a 6 foot man.
No, you can do bodybuilding.
He ain't going to win a tackle. He's
Toughen him up.
going to get knocked off the ball consistently. Still, like he's not going to make his running any faster. His length of his paces aren't going to get any longer.
He's got
He's still
really
going to be
small
that
shoulders,
short guy
you
with a
can't,
short
like,
stature.
one of the things that hurts him. Unless you're Gianfranco Zola and you're playing his position, small legs. That's
just
No,
sad.
but the thing is, K-Mac, none of us are saying that we want Elliott to start games. I'm just saying, at his age, he's playing for his team that he supported as a kid. He don't give a damn if he's on the subs bench for the next 2 years and goes somewhere
Exactly.
else. There you go. Nothing else, nothing more.
That matters.
We ain't
That
paying him $250 a week.
Yeah.
Leave the lad alone, man.
Yeah.
At least
He's
got
not
more bloody
making some
passion.
astronomical fee.
He's
You're
got
right,
more
JK.
passion for Liverpool
Exactly.
Football Club than Trent.
Exactly.
Let's leave it as that.
I know people don't. I know. I remember. I'll let Bernie's comment on this too. I know Bernie was saying how, yes, likable person, likable people are well and good, but we want the best of talent. Absolutely, I agree. I want the best of talent, but I want someone that lives and breathes Liverpool football. I want someone that understands the game, understands this club the same way that I look at it, and I feel as though we'll have the same loyalty to it. And Elliott has that in spades, he is definitely someone that you can't say does not love this team.
Yeah, I probably.
Brian just wrote it in the chat. I didn't need to say it.
I'd probably say that Elliott, because he's younger, he has got time to come on and improve. So he can, he's an impact player. He can come off the bench and change the energy in the game because he's proven he's done that quite a few times. I mean, I'd rather, to be honest with you, I think that unless Curtis improves, and we've been waiting for a consistent improvement, I think I'd rather give Elliot more of a chance than Curtis. If I had to choose between them, to be honest, but I think both of them are bench players. I don't think either of them are first team players. Whether Harvey can improve it, and I would like him to, because he started off with such great talent when he was young, didn't he? We thought he was going to be a superstar, so I would like him to. But at the moment, I'd rather be looking at other players who, the heart and soul may not be Liverpool, but we've got to balance heart and soul for Liverpool along with talent that will win you something. And like Norm said before, Suarez wasn't a Liverpool legend, but while we had him, he gave everything, and we got the goals we wanted to achieve what we wanted. So you've got to match the two and make sure you get a good balance, haven't you? Of that, I just, I'm not being harsh. I just don't think they are good enough to. If we're saying we want to be successful and we want to win, not if we want to go back to it in doubles and trebles, then we've got to be a bit heartless.
It was a different vibe last season, wasn't it? We were all still, Klopp was manager and we were behind all his players 100%. But the regime's changed now, isn't it? Or hasn't it? And I don't think Harvey fits. A number of players don't fit. Or don't.
No.
That David Lynch.
Ringlets.
I was listening to David Lynch today, and he was, and I really rate him. I think he talks sense, and he was saying about Harvey. He was saying that he can't make a start. To a game, he can only come on and be an impact player when you need him. But he's been given a few chances to start, and he just hasn't found his form. He just hasn't hit the ground running with it. And that's a shame, because we've all been crying for him to come on, haven't we, and get the chance. Yeah. But when he's had the chance, he hasn't capitalised on it.
It's true what K-Matt was saying about... I'll just quickly say about what K-Matt was saying about Elliot's good when he comes onto a pitch when the opposition are battered. And they're really sort of petering out, and Elliot can take advantage of that. In that way, true.
He can do it one.
He can do that. But starting games, starting games when everyone's fresh and that is a different ball game, So for me, I think that's been the problem with Elliot. I think that's when he's useful as a sub. Starting games, not so great.
What I was going to ask this, and I'll bring Baz, bring Brian and Nalante into the conversation too. Would you say that Shaqiri was a starter, was a bona fide starter, or should have been a starter?
He played a lot of games for us.
He did play a lot of games, but I'm asking, was he? Should he have been a starter?
He was an elite player. He really was an elite player.
Oh, I'm not doubting that.
Didn't he go from Bayern Munich to Stoke? I know that's a wild transfer.
That's an interesting, yeah. Currently, he plays in America now too.
Italy, then to Stoke.
Yeah, I see him. He plays in America now for Chicago. But my question is, I'm just bringing out just a player just out there and saying, was Shaqiri a good? Was he good enough to be a starter? Was Adam Lallana? I'm just gonna throw out some names. Lallana
I think both of those players. I think both of those players were good enough to be starters, but they had injury problems. They had fitness and injury problems, both of them. Okay. They both did.
Okay.
And you're also missing out the main factor.
Go ahead.
No, but you're also missing out the main factor is
from the very
Jurgen Klopp as a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, bro,
Favourite.
Shaqiri, starter, yeah. Lallana, no. Shaqiri is good. Why? He's a beefy guy. He's really stocky. Hence why he would get more game time than Harvey Elliott would have because of that physical presence.
He was the ace up Jurgen's sleeve, wasn't he? When we weren't getting nowhere, he brings Shaqiri on, and then suddenly that.
But it's interesting. You guys
When he
all,
got
but
Mourinho, the
class.
sack was my favourite bit of Shaqiri's Anfield career. Like after those two, they were both deflected, which made it even funnier.
Has anyone seen Shaqiri's calf? His calf, how he was built, his legs, how built it was. I mean, obviously, like Elliot is tiny compared to Shaqiri in terms of like body mass and stuff
body
like that.
mass,
And
but
exactly.
That's why I brought up Shaqiri, by the way.
Yeah, I know that's where I know you were going with that because obviously they're pint-sized players, isn't it? But obviously Shaqiri is bulked up, in it. If Harvey could do something like that, yeah, he may have a chance. I get what K-Mac's saying, yeah, but at the same time as well, yeah, he's got opportunities, isn't it? He does have to take these opportunities, in it, like, you know, bulk up a little bit, show that you really want to be in this team, and you know you ain't gonna get pushed off like a little school kid. I get that, but he does need to bulk up. But Shaqiri, you know, I love Shaqiri, but I think obviously there was an attitude problem. I think more than injury. I think he did have his injuries, and I know Lallana had his injuries as well. But Shaqiri, I think there was like a little bit of an attitude problem, and that's what Klopp didn't play him a lot. But Shaqiri was he was a baller, man.
And that's exactly another why I brought the point. Shaqiri had that attitude of not only did he think he should start, he insisted that he would start. And yet Shaqiri was a phenomenal player for us off the bench. Absolutely phenomenal player.
And the teams that he played,
is he a starter? Probably not. But as a sub, he was absolutely crucial for us at times.
It was just fitness, wasn't it? Like he probably would have been a starter if he was fit, but like he wasn't.
That was my
started a lot of games.
That was my other rebuttal too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say that was my other rebuttal is that K-Mac and others brought up the point. Oh yeah, those players are good, but they had injuries. We're talking about Harvey Elliott who got his his Achilles taken out. Talking about a player had possibly one of the best preseasons of all the players coming into this season, and then he gets an injury early in the season.
Well,
others stepped up and made the roles their own. But go ahead, Bernie. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, sorry, Charles. I was going to say, let's face it, we're not going to get 11 fantastic first team players and 11 fantastic on the bench, because who's going to sit there? You know, they want to play. If they're that good, they want to play. So you're always going to have someone who's not going to be as good, and that will settle to be on the bench, and just be, the way they've pledged themselves, the way you talked about Elliott before and Jones, they pledged themselves to the team. So you're always going to want those, but because if they're that good, they're not going to sit on the bench, basically. So you're either going to get somebody fading who's been brilliant and they're a bit later in their career, a bit like Endo, who can come on and do a job, or the way Milner did as well. Or you're going to bring somebody up from the academy, or end up with somebody like Harvey who can come on and add energy to a flagging team. So in that respect, you keep them. We've trained them. They've had the nutrition that they're on the diets that you want from Liverpool. They know the club inside out, and they've got the right temperament to be a team player under those circumstances. But then you've got to start and look back at your first team squad, thinking, well, they're not going to make it. So who are we going to bring in so that we have got those elite for the first 11?
Yeah, the reason Shaqiri made his debut in a 4-0 West Ham win. He came off the bench, but the starting lineup was Ali, Virgil, Joe Gomez, shout out Joey, Robbo, Trent, obviously, but Ginny, James Milner, who captained that team that day at least, Naby Keita. Then we had the front three, obviously, the three red arrows. And on that bench, you had, Neil Klein, you had Fab, Fabinho, you had Jordan Henderson, you had Lallana, you had Shaqiri, and you had Sturridge. Those players are all good players. I don't think, obviously Fabinho at that point could be a starter, obviously. You can make an argument also, Jordan Henderson obviously could be a starter. Maybe or not. Maybe so. But he could have been a starter. But all those players, all those players could be spot starters. But I wouldn't say that those players are all players that I want to have as seasonal starters. But those players are important to have because you have your starters. Harvey Elliott might not be the starter right now, might not be considered to be a starter, but I think that Harvey Elliott has potential to continue to develop his body, as Baz is pointing out, and continue to push the ceiling, push the knowledge base that he's going to learn from Mohamed Salah, who he takes every bit of knowledge he can from him. He's going to learn how to incorporate those portions of his games into his own game. And he's only 22 years old. That's
the biggest,
so
the biggest thing that you mentioned there. I also wanted to say something that JK said. So JK said that he's starting to get a little bit annoyed with Slot, like the way he's treating players. What we need to look at is we're comparing what's happened with previous players with a completely different manager. Like we don't have Klopp anymore, so we don't run our team like that. Like, and we've seen that our manager's been really cold with players, and he's took players off and he's just not played them. Just like Chiesa, like we all may think that Chiesa's great and he deserves a chance, but the manager clearly doesn't. And I think Chiesa's a great player, by the way. Like, really happy that we got him. But when he comes on, he looks like a pub footballer right now. So the manager's got a point, and it's his game, and it's his team, and it's his neck on the block. But what we have to realise is, what we have to look at though is we need to have a bench that the manager trusts, because he's got a first team that he trusts, because he plays them every single game repeatedly. Like people think that Costas should be in, but Robbo gets played. And that's just the way it is. And whether we think Costas deserves a chance or not is irrelevant, because the manager doesn't rate him, and he rates Robbo every game. And he rates Canate every game, and he rates Virgil and Mac and Grav and Szoboszlai and Diaz and Jota and Salah. That's who he rates. He doesn't rate his bench. He hardly ever plays them. When he does play them, it's like he doesn't even want to bring them on, but he just does, because he knows that the other guys are redlined, and he's been told by the fitness staff, you need to take them off. I just want a bench that the manager will bring on and he trusts. And if we're going to be keeping players because they work really hard and they love the club and they've got the badge, that's not good enough for me, because I want the manager to go, you know what, you're the guy I'm going to bring on because I know you can do something and change the game, and not because he's just there. And that's what I want. So I want 11 players that the manager's like, they're the best. Like, they're going to win me the league if they all stay fit and they can play every game. That's the way it works. But that bench, if some of them are tired or some of them aren't having a good game, they're my guys. Because I bought them, I rate them, and they fit stylistically into what I want them to do. And wherever they play, wherever I put them in, they're going to be almost as good as the people that are on the pitch. And they'll push them as hard as they can.
Yeah,
Elliot doesn't do that. Costas doesn't do that. Endo, does he? Doesn't he? I don't know. Kwanzaa doesn't do that.
I say, watch your tongue about Endo.
No, but I'm just saying.
That's a joke. I'm joking.
He's not pushing Gravenberch out of the team, mate. That's just a fact.
I don't know.
But that's how I feel.
Yeah, but you know what?
Unfortunately.
Sorry, but you know what? Klopp used to do this. Klopp was like this as well. He had his starting 11, and yes, he built that team. I get it, yeah, but you could even argue that look at, for example, Gravenberch. Yeah, it's been his number one, obviously DM. This guy since November, okay, has been burnt out, and this thing about not trusting players, yeah,
he's not. He's not. By the
is.
way, he's not been burnt out. He's not.
Bro, since November, he has not been the same.
He's the best
player.
midfielder on the planet. Like all his numbers consistently, he's an
Wow,
absolute monstrosity.
Nah, I strongly disagree. I think he was the starting of the season. He's been brilliant, epic. Yeah, you could argue the best midfielder, but you know what? Let's say since December, the turn of the year, he's dropped, and he has not progressed at all. All his like little turns and stuff like that, people are onto him. He's not been that great at all. But the problem is, I mean, that's him as an example I've personally seen. We all have different opinions, but I mean, look at Endo. Endo came on yesterday. The team didn't play that well, but he played really well. Why is he not getting opportunities? Because it doesn't trust him. I mean, he had the opportunity to bring in players, in the summer. He didn't want to because he said he needs to see the team. Come like January now, he should have brought 1 or 2 players in. I don't know why. Maybe he was thinking, all right, fine. Well, now I'm going to do something else later on. I don't know, but he's had the opportunities, and we can argue that because of some of his not harshness, but he's he's tough. Like, now I'm playing this particular team, cost us in the cups. So I don't know. I mean, I think Tsimikas I think has been okay. He's not been spectacular. Obviously, he fancies Robbo, but people like Harvey Elliott. When I look at Harvey Elliott, yes, he's not a starter, yeah, and he does make a little bit of difference personally, because I've seen him come off the bench, and he's been the one that does do the passing, the forward passing. A lot of the time, they're keeping the ball, they're just playing left to right, waiting for that thing, waiting for that right moment. But sometimes when that's not working, you bring on players to make that change, to pass that, that through ball and stuff like that, and he's just not he's just not with he doesn't trust these people, and I don't understand why he's not trusting these teams. This is all he's got. He needs to play them more, and that's why I think some of our players have been burnt out, because they've had to cover a lot of games this season.
And also not only cover a lot of games, but also even maybe expand their roles a little bit more. I think some on the panel have definitely pointed out some of Dom's shortcomings, but then again, Dom has also had to take on the responsibility of maybe covering certain more parts of the pitch simply because of other players doing other jobs or other.
He does Salah's defensive work now, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's already said it, like in an interview. Like, he does 60% defensive work, 40% offensive work now.
Right. And people expect him to have 60% output of offense.
Well, you can't with those numbers.
You can't do those numbers. Don't exactly line up.
The maths ain't mathing, are they?
No, but everyone's comfortable how Mohamed Salah plays, or the output he's getting, simply because other players are sacrificing portions of their game to make that opportunity for him actually be created. Let me get into this last segment here, because this is a quick one. It's a transfer roundup and fan shout-outs. Summer window is about to be on the horizon for us, and there are I'm not going to talk about Oshman, so I'm going to make sure the K-Mac doesn't get excited about that. But but I am going to talk about someone that is Isak-like, apparently, quote unquote, and someone that we are possibly interested in getting involved in this club, and that is a Frankfurt player by the name of Hugo Ekitike. He's been linked to both Liverpool and Arsenal. However, his price tag of 100 million euros.
No one's going to buy him for that. Believe me. No one's. Unless they go Death Wish.
Who was that, Charles? Who
he plays for Frankfurt. He's a striker.
I've got a better one than that. He's a
I
Manchester United
imagined in
supporter.
my brain that he was worth about
Okay,
30,
I'll give you a chance.
35 million, and that's all he wants.
Did you hear
Say
that?
again, Lee? What'd you say, Lee?
I imagined in my brain that he was worth about 30, 35 million, and that's all he wants.
Ekitike. Well, originally he
apparently
was,
it's
but I mean,
100
like that's
billion
what
to buy
happens
him.
when you're. That's what happens when you're a hot name and you're in a market where, let's be honest, everybody wants 100 million for these players nowadays when it comes to a striker, and that's why I made the reference earlier. If it meant, if getting Huijsen, for instance, meant that you didn't have that extra 20 or 30 million to be put towards a 100 million euro acquisition, would you still do it? That's why I was saying it that way, Brian, too, by the way. But 100 million. Is that real quick around the horn? We'll start with Baz and then we'll just go around.
Ekitike,
Yes or no? Ekitike.
100 million euros, no.
No. Brian, 100 million euros. You buying, you're selling.
Don't be stupid.
Okay. All right. Just moving quickly. Lee.
30 or 35 million
Okay.
pounds.
All right.
Not
Yeah.
euros.
I got you. You're being asked to kindly leave the store if that's your case. All right. Bernie.
No.
No. JK.
Is it Bergkamp we're getting?
Not
100 million.
100 million euros. Yeah.
Hugo
100 million
Ekitike.
euros, that is. That'd be probably what, like 80 million pounds or something like that, right?
Yeah,
80,
but
Like,
90.
90 million now. Okay.
Mhm.
yeah, man, you back in the days, £1, €2.
It used to be.
No,
Yeah.
I wish them well in their endeavour to find 100 million for that player. Like,
If they do, that would be the biggest fraud ever. It's just a joke. Football's out of control. When you look at the prices of players now, come on, it's a joke.
Okay. So that's a no. I take it. All right. Nalante. Yes. No. 100 million euros.
Stay well clear.
Okay. Last but not least, K-Mac. 100 million euros. Yes. No.
He's a Man United supporter.
Okay. There you go.
Like,
Okay.
just one thing on that.
I thought that didn't matter. Everyone.
Just one thing on that. For that much money, we could sign Osimhen and Delap. Like,
Osimhen is a Chelsea supporter.
There's your main
There you
forward
go.
sorted and your backup done. Literally done for the same price.
Yeah.
Trent's a
Yeah, I
Liverpool
think-
supporter as well.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
KTB was supposed to be a Liverpool supporter, wasn't he? When they're getting paid, I don't think they care who they support.
Yeah, the support thing is just irrelevant. Whether
No,
they
they
support
yeah.
Red, White, C, mate, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Still
they
play
support
for the
that
club
white
is different.
It still puts me off if I hear a player supported Man City like years ago when they were a kid.
I said
or
Manchester
something.
United.
Well, then
Worse.
how about this? Then how about this?
Worse.
How about this? How about this?
You.
We'll do a reverse around the horn. I'll ask this question again because, look, the fact that strikers are being asked at 80, 90, 100 million, if not more, is not really a surprise. I know, Dibbling, right? Or the Southampton player, they want 100 million for. They want 100 million for him. You know, and I wouldn't expect that, but then again, you know, maybe there's a sucker born every day, they said, or something like that. Who knows? But I'll ask you this question then: if we were to go out and if we had to choose between Ekitike or another player that apparently we have sent scouts to look at his game, because scouts for Liverpool were at the Bayern versus Leipzig game, would you rather go for Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko? I'll ask that. This is a reverse round the horn. K-Mac, you start the party.
What, Ekitike or Sesko for the same price?
If we had to make a choice of who we want to go for, yeah. Oh, you got to really think
Sesko
about it.
reminds me of Nunes 2.0.
Oh, wow. So he reminds you
does.
of
he
chaos at its
does.
finest?
He does, but he has got better and better every season.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only difference. He actually does improve. He's improved every year. Oh, but his numbers are still like, it's a real difficult one because Ekitike is he's like an Isaac light, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
He's got a lot of what
They
Isaac does in
they
him.
call him a poor man's version or something like that. Like
I
a poor man's
know.
Isaac.
I mean, Ekitike just went to PSG too soon. Like, he went to PSG when Neymar and Messi were there. Like, he was never going to break into that team. Oh man,
K-Mac
that's
doing
really
a little.
tough.
K-Mac did a little waffle. What do they call it? The waffle.
They're both really talented. They're both really talented. Similar age group.
Stalling for some time here.
Same price. Ekitike.
All right, there you go, Ekitike. All right. Nalante, who would you go for? Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko? Hugo Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko? Or how about I ask Bernie that question because I see Nalante's on mute.
Well, I thought I read something today to say that we were very interested in Sesko. But I'd probably go with Ekitike.
Okay, Ekitike for you too. All right. JK, how about for you?
I'll start asking me, do you want to support Man United or Everton?
All right.
I wouldn't want either one, but for me, I take the other lad, Sesko.
Sesko? All right.
Yeah.
Nalante with us yet? Okay, Nalante. Ekitike, Hugo Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko? Abdul saying neither.
There's someone who gets slept on. I'll get Openda.
Oh, okay. That was random. All right.
I can throw random ones in there.
I know. You have to
play the game.
Yeah,
you have to play the game. You got to play pick one or the other.
I don't need to play no games. So but if you put a gun to my head,
yes.
I guess
a YouTube gun.
Yeah, I'm about to say figurative speaking. Yeah.
I guess Sesko.
Okay. All right. Doesn't sound like you're too happy about that one. All right. How about for you, Lee? Yeah.
I'll go for the one that didn't reportedly support Man United at any point in their existence.
All right. Easy said. All right.
They both support them, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Brian, how about for you? Who could be our long-term number 9? Ekitike or Sesko?
Yeah, no, I'm all in on Prem proven for strikers right now. We've been burned too much. It's got to be one of them. People that watch a lot more, I'm assuming, well, they talk a big game, but how many of them actually watch it? But I don't really know much about any of them other than what I've looked up on them. I don't watch Ekitike play. I don't watch Sesko play. But I've heard an awful lot of people say that Sesko is shit. He's obviously not shit.
No.
He's obviously not. He's obviously a really good footballer. Ekitike, someone I saw Connor on Cop Council do a breakdown on basically if you want someone who plays like Isaac and you can't afford Isaac, well, this guy basically matches up for him in all his attributes, all his outputs. Obviously not the numbers, but if you're looking for a similar type of player, here's one you should be looking at. Obviously, the transition to England, massive. Jeez, man, it's one or the other.
One or the other.
I would just say at the moment I would say Ekitike just because I don't know enough about Sesko, but I know he's definitely Sesko seems to me like he might be more of a Gyökeres type of player. Goncalo Ramos type of player, a proper like
don't say
number
that
9.
name. Don't say that name, mate.
Whereas
you know how I feel about him.
More. Yeah. I hope your wife isn't listening. Have you shut off your wife and listen? Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Serious
All right.
player.
All right.
Serious.
Baz, who would be your choice out of those two? Long
Bro,
term.
You're not giving me good options, are you?
No,
yeah,
we're not.
yeah.
That's how
I know
we
what-
struggled.
What do you think about those two players? Are excellent players. They're definitely good players.
Do you know, Nalante said something. He said that, if you put a gun to his head, he'll have to give an answer. If
Right,
you put a gun to
figuratively.
their head, I'd rather pick the bullet.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Gee.
No, you know what? Again, like Brian says as well, I need a Premiership proven striker.
Right now,
But-
Baz, we do.
Yeah, because the same sort of thing. We've been burnt.
Are you gonna say Chris Wood?
I'd take Chris Wood. I know
Well,
if
I'd
someone
rather
looks at
have Chris
me,
Wood over Nunes.
I knew that was
Chris
there.
Wood over
Oh,
Nunes. I'd rather have
I set
Jamie
myself
Vardy
up
over
for that.
Nunes.
I set myself up for that one.
Get me
Stop.
Jamie
All
Vardy
right.
on a free transfer over Nunes.
Oh my goodness.
if
stop.
all right, if you really, if I'm really going to be pushed, if what K-Mac's saying is true, then he's going to want to prove himself against Manchester United. So at least we'll get goals. It'll probably be Ekitike, but very, very, very reluctantly. And so long as he scores against the scum, that's all I'm happy with.
All right. I think that's so. The only one that went with Sesko really was JK, I think. Interesting.
Didn't
And
Nalante
JK's
finish out?
Nalante
Yeah,
as well. There was
And
three.
Nalante as well.
There was three.
Oh,
that said-
Monte. Okay. I was gonna say because I thought it was interesting because JK's probably the one person on this panel that actually watches German football.
But no, Nalante didn't want either. He wanted to go with Openda.
Yeah, he
I'm
didn't
on
want either.
Isak, man. Can't we just get Isak? Just bring in Joe Gomez,
Yeah,
man. You know what I mean?
please.
And just
Let's
make it
do
good.
that, please. Please, let's just
When I
buy
look
Isak.
at
Come on.
when I look at Sesko's figures this season, he's got in the FA Cup there in Germany, DFB 4 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. Champions League 8 games, 4 goals.
No, he's been good.
Bundesliga 31 games, 13 goals, 5 assists. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad actually. 21 years old as well.
Yeah.
They,
How about
they've
this?
They've been poor this season as well, Leipzig, by the way.
Yeah, they have been. They have
They've
been.
had a really bad
Does he
season.
work? in the
Frankfurt
system?
has been actually good this year.
Well, yeah, because
Frankfurt,
because of the
Stuttgart
Mamouche.
were all
Because of
well. No,
Mamouche.
Frankfurt and Stuttgart were teams 2-3 years ago that were battling relegation practically.
Oh yeah.
But this last question is this one. I'll start with Baz on this
I don't think
one.
that-
What?
Was it not Frankfurt that West Ham beat to win the?
Oh, the Europa. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
the Conference League. I think it was Conference
Yeah,
League.
that was the year before last. So they've
Yeah.
been in okay for a while.
Yeah. What I was asked this last question or last part of this segment here is
There's a Newcastle
Our
fan in
boy-
the chat, by the way. Sorry.
oh yeah, no,
No, he's a
I
good
know,
lad.
I
No,
know.
he's a good lad.
He's a good
Who
lad.
wants to leave that?
Top lad.
I don't think you will
He
either,
knows.
mate.
Cool.
I don't think
The
you will.
Newcastle guy's cool.
Yeah, so,
We've got a closer chance of getting Gordon than we do Isak. But Federico Chiesa has just become eligible for a title medal. I'm going to ask you yes or no. Baz, does Chiesa have a Liverpool future?
Oh, flipping hell, bros. I like him. I really do think that, the reason why he plays as a pub footballer is because he's simply not given enough games.
Right.
When he got flung early in the last game and he obviously, there was a counter attack. He didn't get the ball. He needs games, but the problem is there's Salah there, isn't it? Salah's going to always be picked over him. And, the manager's already said he's in competition with Salah. And Salah is probably the best striker at the moment, you know what I mean? Or in terms of goals and stuff. It's such a difficult one. I want to see him at Liverpool, but I want to see him play in a number 9 if we do an Arsenal and not get a forward. Or challenge maybe on the left. I think I think he needs to be there for another season and being given games. If he's not going to get games, then no. There's no point, is there? because we're all wanting him to play. And if he's not going to get games and they don't rate him, or someone's got an agenda, the manager, I don't know what, maybe it wasn't his signing, God knows what, yeah, then there's no point keeping him. Just cash him, get someone that you're going to play. If you do see something in him and you're saying, all right, listen, this is a season for you to get fit, get proper healthy and stuff like that, and I'll give you opportunities next year, then give him an opportunity, because his record ain't bad when he's played. He scored a goal in at Wembley. I think he assisted at West Ham. I think he scored another goal somewhere along as well. So it's still not bad, but I'm not sure why he's not being played. So it's a turn, really. If he's going to get an opportunity, yes. If he doesn't have an opportunity, sell him on and let's move on.
Okay. All right. So that was a extended yes or no answer, but I got you.
Sorry.
No worries. We appreciate it. Yes or no? With you can give a little bit of context if you want, but yes or no, Brian? Does Chiesa have a Liverpool future?
You'd have to say no. You'd have to, just based on the evidence. I mean, I got to work on the evidence, and it would take an incredible turnaround for him to all of a sudden be part of the plans next season. But you never say never in football. But right now, what about his career at Liverpool would tell me that this guy has a future?
Mm-hmm.
Not much. The only thing I haven't heard is Fabrizio Romano coming out, blah, 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 or looking at bringing him into Napoli or trying to bring him back for 20 minutes. That's all. I'm just waiting for that one. But what about what he's done? Or, it'd be silly to say, oh, yeah, obviously he does. There's no proof there at all. So he's looked brilliant. A lot of times he's come on, looked like really impactful and stuff, but he will probably, if he does leave until, like say, the books come out, it will go down as one of the great Liverpool mysteries. What really happened with Chiesa? What was really the story? Because there's more to this than just, oh, he's a bit injured and blah, blah, blah. No, there's more to it. So, I've given up hoping for him to get starts or get minutes. Like, I've been down to, surely he can't be worse for about 2 weeks now, and he still doesn't start. So, and he gets 8 minutes. And the other game, he doesn't even get off the bench. So, yeah, it'd be crazy.
Okay.
Take care, K-Mac. Take it easy, man.
Definitely. Be easy. All right. I'll ask this. Just give me just a yes or no, because I'm gonna end this. We've gone way over, so that's why I'm just running with it. Have the conversation. Really great panel that we have with us today. So I will say, just give me a yes or no answer for Chiesa future, because I know the rest of the panel probably wants to get their say. But I do have a fun little segment to end this show with. So yes or no? No worries. Yes or no, Lee?
No for Chiesa.
No for Chiesa. Yes or no, Nolante? Yes or no?
Sadly, no.
JK, yes or no?
No for me as well. Yeah.
Okay. Bernie.
From me?
Yes. I'm hoping you have a different answer.
No, I'm gonna say I wish it was yes, but I think it's no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with that said, let me I'll let you guys play as a group rather than just individuals here. And I'll say this is a little trivia round for our great Trent Alexander-Arnold, who will be leaving us at the end of the season. Here are some trivia questions for you. Trent has the most assists for any defender in Premier League history. Can you name the 4 others on that list? Can you name the 4 other players on that?
Robbo?
Is Dennis Irwin on there?
The guy from
Liam
Everton.
Baines.
I'll give you I'll give you 2. I'll give you 3 strikes. If you name someone that's on the list, that's a strike. Just so you know.
Okay.
No, go with what JK said. Baines.
Baines is on the list. Yes.
Yeah, go with that.
So we've got
So
one to
Robbo
get.
and Baines.
Robert Baines, Trent,
You
and
got 2 more.
Team, no. Trent's
Oh,
out
two
of
more.
this. Yeah, it's not
This
Trent.
is
It's the
for
ones behind.
and this is for defenders, not just. Yeah, that's remember it's
Yeah,
defenders.
fullbacks.
Trippier.
That would be incorrect.
Ooh.
That's one strike.
we discussed that before we gave that answer.
Baz is bold though. That's what Baz is
just went
bold.
for it.
Because I know he's played. He's yeah. Anyway, okay. Surprised about that one.
And I thought Trippier would be high up there.
Hmm.
I think he's bloody Gary Neville. I know that.
So you got Robbo, you got Baines, you got Leighton Baines, you got obviously Andy Robertson.
And Trent.
Well, Trent is
but
yes.
Trent's not
Trent
behind this.
Trent
It's
holds-
the ones
Trent-
behind him.
Yeah.
It's the ones behind, yes, because
Yeah.
Trent currently holds the record with 64 assists. 64 assists.
Fullback.
Yeah, it's the
Will you still love me? Will you still need me when I'm 64 assists in? Huh?
What's that guy from
That's the
Chelsea?
Beatles remix.
Is
Oh, that
what
was the
about-
guy.
what about Ashley
Robinson.
Cole?
that?
What about Ashley Cole?
It's Ashley
Anthony-
Cole would be incorrect.
Nah,
No, I was asking the lads.
One minute.
Oh,
I know.
Anthony
I know.
Robinson.
I didn't know that. I'll let it go. I'll let that one go.
Let's
Is it
go
the-
through this properly, guys.
Go ahead,
He's a
Bobby.
United
Talk
player.
about it. Bernie,
The
wait,
United
let Bernie get the. Bernie was trying to say something.
Anthony Robinson.
Oh. Ooh.
No, we're not going to give that answer. I don't think that's right.
Valencia at Manchester United. Didn't he play at left at fullback and wing?
He did.
And then he
To be
ended
fair.
up at
Who
left
are you
back.
saying? Who are you saying?
Was in it?
Okay, Valencia.
Yeah.
Man United.
Oh, Antonio Valencia. No, he won't be.
Antonio Valencia.
Up there
He
for,
played
no,
for-
not for
yeah.
all time. Not for all time top
I
five.
reckon
Oh,
that
is this
Chelsea
all,
guy.
all time? I thought it was
Yes.
this season.
Oh no, yeah, this all time, Bernie.
All time. The guy from Chelsea asked for
All time and that's all time Premier League, not all time England. All
That's
time
the.
Premier League.
I reckon him from Chelsea. I reckon he'd be high up there.
Oh, you
Graham
guys are
was-
on fire.
Who?
Who? Go
Graham
ahead.
was-
Who?
Asperqueta.
Mhm.
That would be. I'm gonna give Bernie that one.
Graham
Okay.
Lasso.
Graham Lasso. Graham Lasso has 44 assists. He's
Ooh,
number
wow.
4 on the
Okay,
list.
So is that one left? Does that just
Got
leave
one
one
left.
now? Is it?
Yep, one left.
Yeah, one. The Soul Blackburn.
It's got to. No, is this the City player? No.
No, it would have been Cancelo. He wasn't long enough.
It won't be a United player. That's one thing I do know.
Mhm. I wouldn't have brought the question up if there's a United player in there. I would have said top 4.
What's the City? Who's the City defender? Oh God, what's his name?
Cancelo.
No. Is English.
Walker.
Kyle Walker. Yeah.
No, he wouldn't
I
be.
reckon
he's got a lot
of assists.
No, he wouldn't be top 5 assists.
Not for him, no.
Nah.
No.
There we go with just one more. Just one more.
God.
This is agony.
How about that other guy? Can't say his name. Asperqueta.
Asperqueta.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one I said from Chelsea.
I
Yeah.
said him or
Oh dear. Okay.
No, just showing. I'm just putting up something about Trent Alexander-Arnold in the background.
Oh, this is gonna annoy me now, man.
Norm is not correct. In case you're looking, in case anyone's
Someone
looking.
that's really
That is
fucking
not-
obvious.
That is not the answer.
There was someone else that was really productive. Obviously.
It's gotta be. Oh,
Mm.
Do you want to go with that? No, you can't go.
This
with
is
that. No.
this is Trent being asked the question too. Top 5. Does that matter? I'm the best.
Oh, God, I know. I'm going to say the guy who played for Everton. Oh no, not Leighton Baines.
Well, they had Shamey Coleman on the other side. It might be Coleman did well, but he didn't match
Was a long
Baines
career.
over his career.
A long career, but I don't think it was long enough to catapult him into the upper
Well,
echelons.
you got to give us a clue, mate.
The clue I'm going to give is
Sagna. What do you guys think, Sagna?
The clue I will give you is this.
He played for Man United.
Brian and Bernie should know who this player is. I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Can't we have a better clue than that? That means
Leeds. Did he play for Leeds?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I know. It's the Irish guy, Ian Hart.
Ian Hart.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, yeah, his left foot was
He had a rocket of a left foot as well, though.
Yeah, he did, didn't it? Yeah, well played, Baz.
Nice one, man. Nice.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, he took great free kicks.
That was too much.
That
was maybe too much.
That was exciting.
That was too much of a hint there. All right.
All
right, yeah. I'll see if anybody
said Irish.
Yeah, that's when you got. That's what gave it away. Yeah. That's funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Played for Leeds. Played for Sunderland. Played for Blackpool. Played for.
Yeah, mainly Leeds. When he was at Leeds is when he was good.
Yeah, he made.
That's when he debuted with. Yeah, or he was with Leeds United under 18s.
Yeah, it was kind of went to shit clubs after that.
Well, I mean, his biggest transfer was when he went to Reading. That was one of his biggest.
Well, yeah, I mean, Reading was the only first time he moved for money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, he just went to a lot of crap. He was too good to. Yeah, he was great for Ireland. He really was. He had an incredible left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great dead ball kind of guy.
Yeah, he had 36 assists in his career. So, I'll ask this then. If you guys can, any of you can remember this. This is us getting into the DeLorean, and if we had to set the dial to go and find or go to Trent's senior Liverpool debut.
Oh no!
What are we putting on the dial?
What do you mean?
What game are we going to? What game are we?
What year? What day? What?
Yeah, you can give it everything. You can give everything if you can, but just at least some part of it.
West
I'm
Brom's
going to make it easy.
You can't think of an answer. West Brom's always a good one to chuck.
So who did he make his debut against, and what season?
I remember this.
It's Spurs. It was Spurs, but remember he was interviewed the week.
United.
United
was the league game.
2016, and it was Spurs.
I would have said 2016-17. I wouldn't have known the game. I would have guessed that year. I don't know the game.
I remember this. Yeah.
He played against Tottenham. I think he came on.
Spurs. He was 18, wasn't he? I think.
Like this. What Spurs?
So you're going with Spurs?
That's all I remember.
Spurs. It was. He was 18.
It was a cup game as well. I can't remember the year.
The cup.
Because we won.
Yeah.
We won.
I'm going to. I'd say to 16-17 that season.
It was a League Cup game. It was a EFL Cup game.
Yeah.
He debuted October 25, 2016 against Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield.
Win or lose.
We won 2-0.
We won
2-0.
No, it was 2-1.
2-1, okay. 2-1. Sturridge scored both, right?
Sturridge scored both of our goals, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who scored for them, but I could double check.
Roger D.
Yeah. You know who's Vincent
exactly
Vincent Janssen scored for them on a penalty.
Oh yeah, that's Dutch striker.
I remember him, yeah.
He ended up playing in Mexico.
Oh really?
Yeah, he ended up playing in Liga MX, isn't it? Liga MX or whatever, Liga MX. He ended up playing there.
Trent said, Vincent who? No, I'm just joking. Just joking. All right. His face is hilarious now. It looks like he's like, what are you talking about, Jamie? All right. I'll ask you this one then. Which club did Trent score his first away goal against?
Oh,
It
Trent's
was
first away goal.
26. No, it's the following season, wasn't it?
First away goal.
And are you talking about all
League, all
competitions?
comps.
All comps.
Leicester.
All comps.
I think
All comps.
he scores a lot against Leicester. Free kicks, bangers. I'm going Leicester.
No one look at the chat because Norm is correct.
I'm not looking. No, I'm not looking. I believe it was against Hoffenheim in the Champions League qualifier to qualify for
Well
the full
done.
knockout stage.
Okay.
Well done. It was.
Come on.
He scored off of a. Do you remember the goal?
It was a shot outside the area, I believe.
Yeah.
Just outside. Yeah.
Yep. It's a direct free kick.
Yeah.
And that was the birth of something great. We won that game 2-1 again, actually, too. 2-1.
No comment. I'm
No
still
comment.
going.
All right.
That's why I came in late. I didn't really want to talk about Trent, to be fair.
I got you. Understood. Just some fun stats. That's all.
12
That's all I have.
Torture of Stokey.
I still think I can't believe no one said Trent. The entire crowd, that had to be someone's favorite memory. That was a great memory.
Well, it's going to be Norm's, isn't it? You know, if it's going to be anybody's, Norm's going to know.
Oh yeah, dude. That was, and it wasn't even that goal wasn't even a winning goal. That knotted it up 1-1.
Do you know Norm should go? Norm should go on mastermind doing Liverpool. I think he'd win it.
Yeah, he might. He just might.
He should.
He'll be my if I'm on.
Yeah, but you can't do Liverpool your special subject every week, so he's got to bone up on at least 4 others.
Who plays on the left for Barcelona?
Rafinha.
Well, that's going to be my best moment of Trent when he plays there next season, when they start waving their white handkerchief when he gets spun up.
Okay.
When he gets skinned twice by him in the opening game of the season and one of them teams.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he ain't going to get the love. He's going to find out pretty quickly. Those Real Madrid fans have about 4 seconds of patience. That's it.
No, if that, man. Yeah. 3.5 seconds, I think, mate.
He's not going to get the love he got over here. So he's got it. Yeah, he's made a big step. You know, Jude Bellingham will tell you.
Oh, that's one player I wish we had gone after. Actually, was hindsight. Now I wish we had gone for Rafinha when he was at Leeds and he was.
Yeah. You went to.
We wanted to go Barcelona, to be fair, because we did. We were interested in him, weren't we?
Yeah, Baz.
Yeah,
but you're talking about systems, like you're talking about people saying like, oh, he won't perform under this guy. We can't get this guy because Slot plays this way, blah blah blah. Hansi Flick is just, Hansi Flick is a very different type of manager. The way he's got them playing, so that's Rafinha. His resurgence is part of the way he's playing. If you
he's been playing well. He's been playing well in Brazil.
No, but I'm saying if you brought him back to England and put him in a structured team in a certain way, you're definitely not going to be.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying he allows him for more expression.
Him and Amal. Yeah, look, that's what you do. If you have him and Amal, that's what you're going to do, right?
Yeah. To be honest with you, we got Mane, so because it was the choice out of the two, wasn't it, or something? Not the choice.
Wait, who was the choices?
When we tried to get Rafinha, was that the time where we got Mane, or was that? Or my
no, he's on the way out. Then
Mane was on the way out, but if not already out by then.
Yeah. Wait a minute, how long's Rafinha been over there then?
This is season.
Yeah, like 2 years, I think, or something like that.
But
only 2 years.
3 years.
I'll tell you in a
Three
second.
tops.
Hold on.
Three
He's
tops.
been there
Longer, you know.
He was there in 3 years. So it's 2022 is when he transferred out.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
He played 2 years at Leeds and then he went to Barcelona.
Ah, fair enough.
He
Yeah.
was good at Leeds. Like, I really liked him at Leeds and was sort of nurturing hopes that he could be Salah's successor. Or that was just a fleeting thing, like, but you know, and then he went there. But he is a good player.
I think he's an excellent player. I think I give him a ton of credit. The fact that he's gone to Barcelona after being on a Leeds team to go to Barcelona and become their captain and be one of their best players.
Ballon
He's
d'Or
captain over
favorite.
there.
He's the favorite. Yeah, he's captain. He's favorite for the Ballon d'Or this year. Now he moved
Yeah.
ahead of
Flipping
Salah.
hell.
When we got knocked out of the European Cup, he moved ahead of Salah as favorite for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
If they
Wow.
win it, he's definitely going to get it. But yeah, it's
Lamar.
a lot of people are like, yeah, it's him in the Leeds team. He can score an incredible goal. He can do this. He can do that. And then boom, Barcelona come in, and then you're thinking, is he going to be another Malcolm or something? But a change of manager, it just shows you, like, a change of manager, a system that suits him and fits him, and he just absolutely exploded. You know, I wouldn't be going all out and breaking the bank to bring him back to Liverpool. I'd just be like, nah, it's working for him in Barcelona. Don't try and recreate that and bring him back. Rodrigo,
I like the
maybe
idea
someone
when
I'd
he was
look
at
at, but
Leeds. I thought when he was at Leeds, maybe we should buy him, like, but
No, yeah. I get for
he's
those.
going to play on the left now because that was all
Yeah.
the talk. He was at a
He's
Salah
playing on the
replacement.
right. I think he's playing on the right. Yeah, he's playing
No,
on the
he's
right
on
for
the left
Leeds.
for Barcelona. Yeah, he's
Right.
playing
He
on
can
the right
play
for
either
Leeds.
side.
Yeah, he can play
Yeah,
either
he's
side.
playing on the right for Leeds. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he played on the
I
right.
just, I just,
Oh, he's a Salah
yeah.
replacement. He's a Salah replacement. It's like, no,
He
look,
didn't start off
I can
low
play
though, did
both
he?
sides.
At Barca.
He did not. He did
Yeah.
not.
It was.
It's Hansi
wasn't
Flick,
bad.
man. Baz, it's Hansi Flick coming. He's
Yeah,
just
no,
unlocked.
100%, Brian. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. You're right. Yeah.
Sometimes
But yeah,
he's just
good on him.
a player needs a manager, and that's it. You see the best of him.
It's the same
Don't
thing with
mess with him.
Dembele at PSG with their manager. He's Enrique got him playing really well. You know what I mean?
He
So
does.
yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Dembele was a player that a lot of people gave up on, to tell you the truth.
yeah. But he's been
horrible look with injuries. Horrible look with injuries.
Yeah. But you can see when he's up and running, you know what I mean? He schooled us.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Ridiculous.
He's definitely a baller.
Paul Robertson.
Yeah, just ask our boys. Just ask our boys.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I know.
Oh man.
That, but anyway, let's not go. We move.
Yeah. No, definitely a really, really great show today, guys. Great panel. Big shout out to K-Mac, who was with us earlier. And big shout out to Baz joining us. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Bernie. Shout out to JK. And shout out to Milante. And shout out to you in the chat. 3 hours deep into an episode. Who knows? We're going to go 2 hours, but you know how that is. Sometimes you get into some conversation that's worth having. And this was definitely one of them. I appreciate everyone joining in. Even if you don't have the same thoughts and appreciations for some of our players, it doesn't matter. It's all about the fact that you were able to verse and be able to speak on the players that we love and choose to love, at least.
Bernadette's put a question up.
I got you. I'll bring it up. She's asking, who do you think we will buy for Trent's position, or will we bring someone from the academy? I think that honestly, we will. I do think more and more that we might go that route that I suggested. I think it was it wasn't last episode. I think it was the episode before when I brought up the Nottingham Forest player.
Oh yeah, the guy on that's on a free, right?
Yeah, that'll leave on a free.
And what's his name? I can't remember now.
28-year-old. Yes, 28, like perfect age in the sense of he's not going to be necessarily the future of our right back spot, because I think that's more so Connor Bradley. Yeah, Aina. Yep. Ola Aina, I believe his name is. but he is certainly a player that could, again, fill in when needed to be a spot player, fill in as a starter, here or there. If you have Bradley, who has been out with injury here and there, he can hold down the fort while Bradley gets recuperated from whatever he's going through.
I think he's got an extension, 12th man. I think
he has a year.
Yeah,
he has a 1 year extension that Forest can choose to fire the option on, but I don't think the reports are they aren't going to they aren't going to go with that option. They're going to go and try to find a new player themselves.
Oh, really? Okay. But that would be
that's the report. That's the reason why he's been reported as being an option.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not an ITK, so I'm just saying that's what has been reported. So
yeah,
making sure.
I read something just earlier on saying that we were considering Frimpong, Dumfries, Anya, or any one of those three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easily. You know what? If it was up to me, if it was up to me, I know. I like the player. I like Serginho Dest a lot. I think he's a talented player. It's just unfortunate he had a bad injury, so that might not be the guy to go with. But there's really not much in right back. Go ahead, Baz. Really
no. I mean, I'm just asking. You don't think so? I mean, that's a great shout, because when you think about it, yeah, they're gonna want Bradley. They're gonna want to bed in Bradley in it. So I mean, they'll be sharing games, so that would be good for someone like him. You know what I mean? He'll gradually come in. So that's a good shout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be someone that you're not gonna want to say, okay, hey, Bradley, who even with a Trent Alexander-Arnold has had struggles to stay fit the entire season. I don't necessarily want to say that I'm going into the season with one right back.
Sorry, 12. Just quickly, with Bradley as well, yeah. I worry about Bradley a bit as well, because he's a full-blooded defender, and I love that. I love that in him. Yeah. The only problem I see is he may potentially pick up injuries in it, as he's going to be playing 60 odd games a season and stuff like that. He's not used to that, isn't it? So yeah. It's
somewhat why I know K-Mac didn't think that Grav was a little bit knackered or spent towards the end of the season. I think he was, because he had to go through just that. He had to go through learning how to play that many games and keep that same level. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, no.
It'd be great to see Joey G back again, wouldn't it? Fit in any role, because he played all over the park for us and he was brilliant. So if they're not going to sell him, it'd be great to see him in reserves again playing for us.
I have a feeling he leaves, I don't know. I just have a feeling that, he's had his opportunities, and he's been brilliant. He's been a brilliant servant for Liverpool. Unfortunate injuries, and he's still not a bad age as well. But I just get a feeling that this manager's going to be very ruthless, and I think he's going to, I think Joe Gomez may be one of these guys that will be sold.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Probably. Yeah. Because he does a great job, doesn't he? When he's needed, when it's only his fitness. Otherwise, he would have been.
He's just not reliable, in it.
Yeah, I think he would have been, except for the injuries. I think he would have been one of our, more notable players. Really, when he's been on form, he's been excellent, hasn't he?
100%.
Agreed. Well, we could get into it. Shout out to Mtar Mizzi. Mtar Mizzi always has some great players that probably are not on many people's radar, but are worth being on the radar for sure. Banderson from Monaco is a shot. I'll have to check
it out. Good shot.
Yeah, that's another one.
I'll have to have a look at him.
Premier League champions, man. We should be able to pull some great, some great talent, man.
We
It
should.
looks like Tyndall, Bernadette.
You would think that would qualify us to maybe get a look from someone here or there. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we'll have an episode for that. But yeah, Trent leaving Liverpool isn't just about a footballer moving on. Obviously, it's about the end of a chapter in his book, maybe in our shared story, certainly. It's a story that shaped an era of Liverpool greatness. I'm going to emphasize that. He is a major component as to why we have experienced some great times in this past decade. From Madrid to the Merseyside Derby, from whipping in crosses to hoisting trophies. I don't want to say he's, I don't want to say he is Sinatra, but he has certainly done it his way. And you like that one? And no. All right, all right, but
was that Melante's cue for a song?
Yeah, exactly.
New York
is on the queue. Yeah, there. But now he's leaving for Madrid, and some fans will never forgive him, which is unfortunate. But here's the truth: he gave us more than most. And in football, very few stories get to end with a title at home in front of your brethren, in front of your people. You know, as in front of the people that you call your neighbors. So when May 25th rolls around, I'm asking, you can do as you like, but I'm just asking, don't boo. I would say don't even sulk. Let's sing for Trent one last time, for the boy who wore the shirt we dream of wearing. And let's ideally carry the sentiment of "You'll never walk alone." So it'll be interesting to see if he. It'll be interesting. His story isn't finished, and maybe it's not finished with Liverpool. Who knows?
And now our Trent is gone.
There you go.
He's driving down the Spanish highway.
He
There you go.
was once a scouser who blew the keys and went
Once
to
a snake,
Madrid.
always a snake.
Trent, you once a Reds, but you be the boy who will forever lost his bed. Trent, that's one thing to say.
Melante.
You did it.
That to his boy.
There you go.
And then Jude Bellingham falls asleep.
Yeah, I don't know why there's all of a sudden a lot of cats hanging outside of my window. Well, yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, there'll be some interesting questions that are going to be asked, certainly. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it before the preview of a huge game that is going to be this one of our last three. It'll be the game that sees us going up against one of our dreaded rivals now, and that is Arsenal. Who the Gunners will be there. What's that?
Bottlers.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Don't know Arsenal. I've never heard of Arsenal. I've heard of Bottlers.
The Bottlers. Well, yeah, we'll see. They still gotta go to Paris to maybe try to shake that moniker. We'll see.
Don't worry, Dembele will sort them out.
Yeah. I hope he's fit to play. He might not be fit to play.
Oh, don't worry. Then Caradonna will.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, KK should. He's a player that can definitely step up and deliver. But we'll see.
Yeah, there's many.
There's a lot of players.
Come on, PSG.
Yeah. But real quick, we'll go around the horn. Baz, is there anything you want to say? Anything thing you want to say to the people before we push off?
No, just big up to the chat and big up to the panel and you, 12th man. Thanks for having me on. If you haven't already, smash the like.
Definitely. Appreciate it. You know, the door's always open for you, Baz. Brian, anything you'd like to say to the people before we bounce out?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you're still scratching your head over the dreaded rivals comment. But okay.
No,
okay.
they know the drill. They know the drill.
I got you. Bernie, is there anything you'd like to say to the people before we make the move?
Yeah, thank you for listening to Bernie's rants and rants and bants. And,
Rants and bants with Bernie.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. That would be absolutely interesting. I'd tune in to see rants and pants in a debate with Bernie. That'd be a very interesting one. And JK, how about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, best up everyone. Best up everyone in the chat. On the panel, Baz, great seeing you, bro. Nalante, Lee, who was there, K-Mac was there, Bernadette, Brian. Yeah, man. Arsenal game coming soon.
Yeah. And last but not least, our little songbird, Nalante. Anything you'd like to say?
The time is near.
No. The cat's gone and left. Now they just turned their heads.
No, Nalante, you need to sing "So Long Farewell."
It's the B-side.
That's the B-side. That's the B-side.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, we'll still go to A-side. We'll do B-side tomorrow, guys, to be honest. But I think 12's had enough. He hit the head in the hand, so I'll keep it PG.
Yeah, dogs howling at the backside, innit?
In it, Bazza. Yeah.
In it.
No, but on a serious note, no, obviously, obviously 12, good show tonight. Obviously came out jumping. It was a good group and the chat saw some fire. Obviously big up Basil, coming in, jumping in, mate, putting your pennies worth. Indeed, I know you didn't want it, but it's good to hear from you, as JK said, Baz. We'll chat. Obviously we're going to keep in contact. Irishman, of course, always. JK, obviously, he's my partner in crime on the other channel, LVC Reds Forever. Like, share, subscribe without me, JK Fuzzy, and Bernie, the lady of the house. Go away from Jason, but Lee unfortunately didn't. Obviously, Tracy put him in for milk and cookies.
Tracy,
the bird call. The bird call.
Oh, Lee got a booty call.
Exactly, Irish read it. Yeah, not that any of us want to know Lee and Tracy's rendezvous.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Hey, you never know. I think he may have moved on from Trace. He may knew the bird on the scene.
Exactly, Brian. And the last bit, what I say is, we did lose, and I get it, but listen, champions, champions, ole, 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 champions, champions, ole, 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 and vive la France, au revoir, PSG, les champions, au revoir, Cercle Bleu, PSG, Messi.
There you go.
Messi.
Yeah, oui. There you go.
Au revoir, Arsenal.
Yeah, au revoir, Arsenal. Hopefully we get to see that. But yes, hopefully we get to say bonjour to you tomorrow. And we will certainly be looking for everyone to leave a comment if you can. Leave a like if you will. And until then, it's simple as and simple does, people. Up the Reds each and every time. Up the Reds. All right. Take care, and stay blessed for sure.